All right, we live, baby. We live. What you waiting on? What you thinking about of me? Ah! Huh? Ah! Man. You stepped on something? It's a good way to start the live off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know. Well, there's only one no view in here. The cookies. Ain't nothing like baked cookies. Oh, low key, like, I wonder if it was gonna be closed. I'm looking at all the traffic. I'm like, man, this might be. I was happy and sad at the same time. I'm like, I could have been asleep.
You didn't have to if you didn't have to.
Right.
And like I said, that's what I was thinking. Because a lot of people, just like even Congress, they start back to work tomorrow on the 3rd.
Yeah.
A lot of people just start back.
I was shocked to do that. 7-Eleven still was working. I'm like, I guess he don't care.
Yeah, what you think their name is?
Right.
Yeah, well, they did say that too. It was below 7. One day still was open. I thought they stay open from their name from 7 to 11. They just stayed open all night. You don't say 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
24/7. It's 7-11.
Right, what does that mean? They open what 7 days a week, 11 hours or something?
It's supposed to be from 7-11. The hours they open, ain't it?
Oh.
7 to 11, and then it's open 6 to something.
I never knew that. Wait, no, they can't be there because I'll be up there like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
A little earlier than that.
I could have swore I heard that a while back, but I don't know. Look it up. See what
Right. I mean, something. Maybe 7 days, and I can't be 11 hours either.
Right. Ask Google. I should ask.
Yeah, they must have changed some stuff around, probably. It might have used to be that though.
Yeah, somebody's gonna bitch when I get upstairs.
What does 7-Eleven mean?
According to Wikipedia, 7-Eleven, Inc., stylized as 7-Eleven, is a multinational chain of retail convenience stores headquartered in Dallas, Texas.
So why is it named 7-Eleven?
Why is 7-Eleven named 7-Eleven?
According to 7-Eleven, in 1946 the name was changed to 7-Eleven to reflect new extended hours 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.,
Okay,
7 days a week.
Okay, so yeah, you was right about the 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. I guess they changed it then.
7 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Yeah, that's probably what it was, yeah. Yeah, so you heard right. Is that King in the building? What's the deal, man? You on that road to 1 million, my brother? It's like, nah. But hey, you got your stuff picking up for sure. Told you people gonna want to hear. They gonna want to hear about that business, you know? A lot of people don't know how to mind their own business. They need to go. They really gotta go. They really gotta learn about business. They don't even mind their own. Good looks for the Mikey Mike. Let me speak up. Let me speak up. Yeah, trying to get it in. At least me a couple hours for. Nah, I gotta go to work for sure tomorrow. I thought I had to go to work yesterday. Trying to get it, mind the business that pay you. Right, exactly. Yeah. Making it happen. That's funny what you was talking about earlier. You was like, when you told a girl you wanted the nice way or the ass and all that stuff. But she's like, or take it straight way. Cause that's what I was actually talking about this morning. I'm like, well, a lot of people be taking stuff as disrespecting on you. That's what made me think about that topic today. A lot of people take things as disrespect, don't really be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? They just try to put it up front. Like, some stuff don't matter. Some stuff do matter at the end of the day. And you got to be real with people. They just got to be receptive of it, put their feelings to the side. But the one girl you was talking to, that, she actually understood, though. Because probably delivered it right. Let her know. You gave her a heads up so her chest was ready. You know what I'm saying? It was funny when what the heck, somebody trying to get me to join that? That's why I asked. So there's no, for sure, yeah, I feel you on that. Cause yeah, some people, they, you got a baby around that situation. Some people you gotta, tell straight. Some people don't understand it till you tell straight. Some people you baby around, maybe they will understand it sometimes, but a lot of times that don't work. They just want their feelings feeling good. What's the deal? So in the building. Stop with all them wives. Shit with all them wives. It's like I'm talking to them. Why you gotta do me like that? Oh, that I believe, man. Hey, in the wrong room. I don't serve baby. I already know, right? Especially with the business mindset. I already know, man. I feel you on that, and that's probably why I'll be like that sometimes. Cause I'll be, even though I don't got no business, but I'm just saying it's got that mindset. I'm prepared. Like, man, I ain't nobody got time for no chases. That's what y'all call it, chases and stuff. We just give it to them straight. You know what I'm saying? You handle it. You know what I'm saying? You can go in another room to baby your feelings. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If you looking for change, then you gotta listen. You know what I'm saying? Or both sides gotta be receptive. It ain't no trying to creep around somebody's feelings, because we trying to get straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 14. That's why I like that, man. I like stuff. I was just talking about that yesterday. I like seeing, people improving and gaining and all that stuff. I see you at 14.2 now. That's nice. 'Cause I think before you even started, I don't even think you was near 10K yet. I think you was like, I don't know. I don't remember you being up there, but hey, you doing some stuff for sure. So I love seeing stuff like that. I be watching different pages and stuff, seeing them grow. Like, yeah, people doing their thing, man. And making it happen. I love seeing growth, man. It's actually motivating and stuff looking at that. But yeah, you getting some ears and some eyes, and that's you be on for shows. Help a lot of people. Help a lot of people for sure. Yeah, I jumped 4K in 1 month. That's for sure nice. See, I told you, man. Hey, you keep grinding on that for sure. You gonna be like at. And then I think the higher you get, the more people you get. I think it just started doubling to a certain extent. Like if you start getting people in it, because they gonna start sharing to their friends gonna like. You know what I'm saying? So that route, I would say, you might be maybe close to 200,000 by the end of this year, maybe 500. I mean, depending on you be on it, so for sure you gonna get some stuff going though, for real. Kanai gonna have her stuff banging. I think she gonna be at least 200,000 by the end of this year. If more, that'd be. Hey, I wouldn't be shocked if it was more than that. The stuff y'all talking about is, is helping people for sure. And that's what's needed. He does informative lives. Yeah, most definitely. Hey, friend, I like rebrand. Didn't even recognize you. Right. He did change it. Look like he changed the name, man. Alright, it was an official King at first, yeah. He changed the name and the picture. Dude, it look like he got the suit on. Watch out for him. Watch out. But yeah, man. Shoot, what y'all got for me on the questions? Because if I start, it's going to get to going, because I'm going to start to try to be able to extend some of my own answers and stuff. Because actually, I do some of this stuff just because now I'm posting a lot of my stuff on YouTube. My stuff on YouTube, I be having like 10-hour videos, 11-hour videos, 4, 5-hour videos. So I said I might as well, express how I feel about these are my own topics sometimes. Put my input on it, on my way of thinking sometimes. So yeah, he said the birthday fit. Whoa, that don't sound right. I thought they had another term for that. Don't be doing that. You trying to get bananaed off of TikTok fast. The birthday fit. It's like, bro, they call that the birthday suit. So is you bananas again? I don't even see you on a list. You in the room, but I don't see you even on a list. Yeah, I ain't like I said, I ain't even make it a word today, but I was up. I'm like, oh yeah, I get to finally catch one of King's lives. Some of the times I don't catch your live because I be up all day on my stuff, then be so tired to even wake up to start doing my support that I got. I do my little support and stuff so I can help out when I can. But I know what's that? Midnight and Hobo, they be in there though for sure. So they for sure helping a lot though with that process. A lot of people I think you got in there though. You probably gonna get more and more. Your stuff for sure, Joe, because I thought about it. You got even your subscription. You just started that subscription. You got like 50 something people in there. So yeah, hey, I'm telling you. You said 4K in a let me see, let me look back. 4K in a month, yeah, that is super good. That is super good. And it's gonna only get better. That just hey, it's the year, man. Especially if you grinding on that, you about to help a lot of people for sure. Yeah. You see, even when you mention it, you end up getting like 3 more subs when you mention it and stuff. So, hey, that's just little stuff right now, man. I'm telling you, your stuff it's gonna fly though, cause everybody want to hear it. Even the people that not even try to put in the work, they still gonna want to hear it though, cause you know what you talking about is good. What you talking about is good, even though they might not apply it. It is what it is. But at least they got the information and stuff, and people like to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Even if they just selling themselves a dream or something like that, they want to hear that. They want to hear about a business and this and that. You know what I'm saying? And they anybody that's good information, even if they don't put in the work. You know what I'm saying? But when the people that's actually into it, y'all gonna run into that. Even though y'all run into a couple people that's just really into it, you're gonna get a lot of that though for sure. It's all about, planting in their mind and stuff. So say the taking off like a rocket for sure, right? For sure. So you need to stop getting bananaed around. You keep speeding up. You're not worrying about people's feelings and stuff. You keep giving stuff to people straight and stuff. You're not worrying about people's feelings, man. You gotta start watching out, man. Getting that banana and stuff. It's a new year. Yes, indeed. I have booked 4 consults in the last week or so. Oh yeah, for sure. And hey, look, in the process, even while you doing what you're doing, that's why TikTok most definitely a good helpful tool, depending on how you use it and stuff. But sure, you're gonna be able to get your book, that book you got. You're gonna sell a lot of that too. I mean, hey, like I said, keep doing what you're doing. Your stuff's gonna be flying for real. This is a perfect little platform to do this stuff on. And then like you want to bounce some of that stuff over to YouTube just in case your what you call it fail. I mean not fail, but I don't even say fail, but just so you don't always just count on them one platform. You want to probably put it on YouTube or eventually make you a thanks that Facebook or Instagram. You want to spread that stuff out though, cause stuff you talking about here, a lot of people want to hear it though. They love business, all that stuff. They love business even when they not minding theirs. Like slide that in there. Oh, I guess it wasn't banana oops. I just didn't see it in there. Don't know with some people. Facebook, his Insta.
Hey, I'm not banana. Why you always think I'm in trouble?
I'm just trying to. It just I don't know.
I'm not in trouble. I'm a good girl. I be staying out of trouble.
Okay. Okay. That's a good New Year's start.
Wow.
A good start. Saying start. What's the deal? No
Wow.
waste time.
Wow. King believes in me. He know I'm not a troublemaker. Don't play with me.
You said what?
I said King believes me.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, okay.
How's your day?
Facebook. How's your day
Have you
going?
heard from
How's your day?
Amigo?
No, not in a couple days. What's the
Mm,
deal? No waste. What's the deal?
maybe he's taking a break.
Huh?
And I said maybe he's taking a break.
Yeah, he be doing it. I know he be focused on his little journey too. He got stuff he be doing and booking stuff, just like King. They be having they be doing a lot of stuff on this app, helping other people and stuff. A lot of people be
Thank
calling
you,
him too.
King. He was trying to play me. He said I'm always causing trouble, and I'm not.
Cool. It's cool. Wink, wink, King. Wink, wink. You gotta make him feel good, you know what I'm
Wow.
saying?
You a mess.
So taking a break from your computer. What you mean by your computer? Are you just saying on this app or something, or you talking about? What you mean by taking a break from the computer? ZZ. You gotta make you gotta rub the rub the hair first,
Wow,
you
that's how y'all feel. Let me
know.
go where I'm loved
This is so
and
beautiful.
celebrated
This is so
and not
beautiful.
just tolerated.
You're such a wonderful, so wonderful. You didn't mean no harm. Then all of a sudden, the Michael Jackson hit like when he did the Thriller. It's like, look, I've been working on presentation. Oh, okay, don't be leaving so. Don't be leaving so. Nobody tell you to leave.
Play
Welcome
too
back.
much. Nah, y'all show your true colors. It's okay.
No, you sure your true guy. We know. We believe you, man. We know you be on point. We got you. It's just TikTok be hating on you, that's all. That's all.
Thank you. TikTok be hating. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I just be
I feel
minding my
you.
business.
They hated on me one time and I wasn't even doing nothing.
Mm. Did you
Mm-hmm.
see did you see in the live today?
Who that?
Earlier this morning? The girl that was coming at me in the comments?
What was it, Empress on?
Yeah.
No, I ain't see what they say.
Nah, they was just like, oh, she got a problem, blah blah blah. I said, who you talking to? Or who you talking about? But she wouldn't give me a name. And then she was like, well, yeah, don't say nothing else. Don't sneak this or you gonna get called out every single time. And I said, ma'am, I
Wow.
still don't know what you're talking about. And I don't sneak anything. And then they didn't reply. So I was like, good, because I ain't trying to do anything. I'm trying, we was having a
I
good
know there's
conversation.
a lot of people don't like you because you just be speaking like just like a lot of people don't like Kanai stuff. You speak on stuff that hurt people's feelings and stuff, So they think you're a problem. Nah, they the
Well,
problem.
that's their problem. That ain't got nothing to do
All
with
right,
me.
that's the problem. What?
King, no, keep your emojis. Cause y'all was
Mm-mm.
playing with me.
Nah, he ain't mean that, man. That was me. I was egging it on. He was saying he was winking towards you,
Why
you
you
know.
trying to save him like you not in trouble? But y'all in the same box.
He was on your team, man. You don't want to lose your team.
mm,
He rooting for you, man.
mm, 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 mm,
Luke ain't like that, man.
mm, mm, mm.
Oh, what you got on these questions for me? Once my mouth start running, it's gonna be running.
Oh Lord,
It's about that time. I gotta start showing.
you never answer the questions.
Huh? I will. I will answer the questions. I just gotta say the best for last, you know. So he
But
got
I'm
you
the
some
best.
perfume. He said you stank. He was some perfume.
I'm the
What's that?
best. So I'll just go last.
No, because I'm gonna
No,
tell you a long one.
I don't like to be.
I'm gonna do a
I
long thing like I did before, cause I don't want to get interrupted. I might be holding the box down for a little bit, cause I want to explain this whole thing.
oh, thank you for
You
the
know,
gifts. Um, no, go ahead. I'm listening. Cause
just
I don't
listen.
really like talking about myself like that, or like my belief. Well, not my beliefs in general, but your questions be digging deep, be all up in my
Yeah.
business.
Mm, mm, mm. Okay, so you said you good. All right. What's the deal? Three swords. What's the deal, man?
So I'll listen.
Okay. So what we got? What we got before everybody get to going? You know. Say you on your
What
way
the
home. Oh, that dude finally off work and stuff. That dude get to rest now. Oh no, I forgot it was New Year. He should have been off. Anyways, the hard working man right there. Listen can let me know another wait. Listening can let me know another person's opinion and give me insights into the person. Oh, you said no. So yeah, I'm about to say I forgot about. I'm thinking, yeah, you be okay. I'm just so used to you working and stuff. I mean, I feel like you just worked all you do years too. You brought it in. When you doing your packaging and stuff and sipping at the same time, you know, every New Year's. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, I'm talking John. But let's get it, man. I'm about to lock this box down. I'm gonna get my stuff, and y'all gonna have to answer from there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gotta lock the box. I just ain't gonna. So let's see. Y'all can just get answers down there. How y'all feel? Let's see if I'm
so
gonna put
so
my
you
info.
saying I'm locked up?
You locked up. I won't let you say, but no, I ain't lock it though. I'm just gonna let the people up when I do it. You know, go ahead and get this out there and get everybody input after that. So let's see if I got it, cause I just gotta go. Ain't like I wrote it down. I'm just gonna go from the mind. Mama pick me. What's the deal, Madam Pick me? Hitting these likes in here, you know. Go ahead. Thanks for joining the live. Go ahead and follow me if you ain't following. I see you hitting the likes. Oh, there you go. There you go. Good. She knows. She knows. Welcome to the live. All right. How you feeling? How you feeling? Got the Betty Boop going on with the Black Betty Boop. That's a triple B, huh? Black Betty Boop. All right. What does listen to understand mean to me? Okay. Let's see. Listen to understand. Listen to understand. Well, what that mean to me is when you take the time before you even open your mouth, you open your ears, right? Sorry, no, I'm not preaching this stuff, but you take the time. First off, you gotta put them feelings to the side. I'm a firm believer on that. Before while you're listening, you don't want to listen with your feelings because that's gonna take everything out of it. You know what I'm saying? So listening to understand. First off, you gotta put them feelings to the side first. Stop thinking about what you hearing is got something to do with you personally. So listen to understand is take it. Take the information you hear. Try to take the information you hearing, what you saying, even whatever. You take all that and you take the time to think on it, even if it's got to be a quick little 5 seconds. You think about what they saying, then look at it like, all right, what could they mean about it? You try to even answer your own question in your mind before you even attack it, before you even try to answer or try to reply to what the opposite person said, or what I'm saying, whatever you got a question about. So you listen. Like I said, first you take your feelings out of the way, then you take the time to try to answer it in your mind first of what you think it could be. Then, uh, mm, I think that's like the main two though. I don't even think what else I'm about to get at the end of this. You just yeah, you gotta actually answer it before you even answer it. Answer it in your mind first. Then, uh, uh, hey, I thought I was gonna have that one ready.
Okay,
I was
now
gonna
I'm
have that one
cut in.
ready. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so
Making
to me, I think the first step to listening to understand, and this is just me personally, right, and how I operate.
it.
The first step is understanding that you have a part to play.
Yeah.
Because I noticed that when I've had conversations and where I felt like I was done wrong or I felt like I didn't do anything wrong, it's harder for
Yeah.
me to listen to understand because I'm constantly on a defensive because I feel like there's nothing you could say to justify what you did. So I'm not even
Mm-hmm.
trying to understand where you're coming from. I'm ready to rebuttal.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that when I can say like with my man or whatever, and they come to me, they're like you did this and it hurt me. And I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like what did I do? Like they're telling me that I did something to hurt them. So I understand that I've done something, whether I meant it or not, I've done something to hurt them. So now I want to listen. I want to hear what I did so that like I can understand so that I don't repeat it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So me personally, like if I don't, I mean, obviously I've grown a lot and now I can have conversations with people and listen and understand them, even if I believe that I don't have a part to play. But for the longest time, if I didn't think that I had a part to play, I'm ready to rebuttal because I already know what I was gonna say, and that's
Mm-hmm.
that. So it doesn't matter
Okay.
whatever you're saying. Like I'm not trying to get it from your side. I'm just trying to tell you what I gotta say, and then we just gonna keep it pushing because it's all on
Okay.
you. You're the one that had to understand me, not the other way around.
Okay.
That's how it was for me for the longest time. So I think that it helps to know that you do have a part to play in whatever the situation is. It doesn't matter how small.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Betty.
Hey.
Um, it doesn't
What's
matter
up,
how
madam?
small. And that will help you be more open to listening because
Yes.
to actually like internalizing what is being said.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll mute on that.
Okay.
Hello. This is Black
What?
Betty, aka Masculine Woman, on my backup, at least until
She get on
4:30
my nerves.
today.
I remember you, masculine woman. Hawk, welcome to the live.
Hey. Um, let's see. What does listen to understand mean to you? I think it's just being able to understand the other person's point of view. I think one of the reasons why we have a hard time on this app listening to understand is because we already come in um the room, and when we come into the box, it's because we have a disagreement.
Mm-hmm.
So we already know, like, we're just there to refute whatever the argument is that the other person was talking about. And you have to just understand that what I've been trying to learn, or what I'm trying to do this year, my New Year's resolution, is to realize that not everybody message is for me. Like, they're not always talking, like I'm not the person who they're talking to. So just let their message be their message, and don't think that it's like take it's a personal attack to you. You're just not their audience, right?
Right.
So, and if
Mm-hmm.
you think like that, then you'll realize, then you can take what they're saying more in stride and actually listen to understand, instead of just trying to figure out what argument you can make to refute whatever it is that they're saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That if it don't apply, let it fly. Heavy on that this
Exactly.
year.
Exactly. I like that. I always tell people that too. And it's funny because I think even with that situation, when we say that, they truly don't understand it because they end up falling for the same thing. The people that we tell that to, like, if it don't apply, let it fly. And they know the saying though, but then they get in their feelings. Now, when you get in your feelings about the situations, obviously it applies to you, even if it ain't personally. It applies to you some type of way because you wouldn't know rebuttal it, or you wouldn't even like get in your feelings about it. Like, oh, well, that don't mean, oh, not all and all. When they say people say not all and all that stuff, like, okay, we get it. If you not part of it, you don't have to say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they missed that whole concept of it. If it don't apply, let it fly. If what you doing working for you, you don't apply to that general statement or the general comment, whatever. You don't apply to it, so why are you responding to it? And why are you fighting for whoever else? You know what I'm saying? Let them, let that be that. You know what I'm saying? Because if they not part of it, they wouldn't have to say nothing, behind it. You know what I'm saying? So it's obvious that you're either you're hiding something, or you're trying to act like you're not part of it, and you say it out loud like, no, I'm not part of it, but yet I'm about to respond to it. That don't make no sense at all. Because if you're not part of it, or haven't been part of it, or been around it, you wouldn't be replying to it at all. You wouldn't have to be like, no, it ain't every person that's like that. It ain't like who that. If you said every person, you know what I'm saying, and it ain't you, what's the point? It don't have nothing to do with you. That's like me, somebody talking about, oh, this, I'll say, oh, they got this one on, this. It's a woman basketball shooter that just can't that be missing shots and all that. Some I don't know, some crazy. I couldn't think of that. And I'd be like, what the heck? What you mean? Not all of them do that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like I'm the one. You know what I'm saying? That they talking about. I'm like, ooh, we talk. It's something that we talking about when you say that. So it's obvious we talk about the people that it's gonna apply to, and that's usually be the people that just respond or whatever. But yeah.
Right.
Right? But I also feel like I feel like I'm a bully to the bullies almost. And so
Mm,
I kind of become an advocate for people, even though they're not in the same situation. Like, I'm not in the same situation that they're in. But if I feel like somebody's going way too hard on a specific subset of people, even if that's not me, or has nothing to do with me, I kind of feel like I got to stand up for them. And like, I come in like going in real hard, and I'm like, nah, like that's not even, I don't know. It's just like, I feel like I got to be superwoman to the people who are getting dumped on in the lives. But I've kind of stopped that but I've been working on it.
Yeah, I think
mm,
that's like rooted in just the disagreement of whatever the statement is, because there's a lot of things that people talk about that don't, apply to me, like things that I can't personally relate to, things I've never experienced, but I can still disagree with the logic or whatever, the comment or the statement is, and therefore like I can
mm,
also, like you can still be part of the conversation. So I completely understand where you're coming from with that.
mm.
Um, okay, Kevin, you want to lead us into number two?
I guess so. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. So, what do you do to get over your past? Hmm. Mine is very simple. Mine's very simple. I don't want to say mine. I want to hear y'all's first because I don't want y'all to bite off my stuff. You can go.
I have multiple personalities, so I just talk to myself. We all have a
Oh my.
conversation,
She get on my nerves, bro.
and we come to an agreement that it's not that serious and we need to move on. I also, like, sometimes I find myself listening to to gospel music. I think that
Mm,
helps me out a lot when I just need something to relieve my stress.
mm,
Um, yeah, as far as like get over my past, see, this is the thing. I haven't been what I consider like doing things that were like really bad. Like, I'm not smoking, drinking,
Mm-hmm.
GAing, banging. I wasn't out there, sleeping around with the entire town. So I'm just like, well, get over my past. I feel like those are more like learning um things that I did uh where I've learned from my actions and I'm going to do better. I don't know necessarily if I like there's things that I could feel like I could do better, but I'm not really regretting it to the point where I got to get over it. So, I don't know. That's a good question. I'll let somebody else answer. They probably have better one than me.
I
So
got
I
so.
don't think I don't
Go
think
ahead,
my
Sosa.
answer is like necessarily better or like or anything like that.
Everybody got
But
their own answer their own way.
I can relate to the not having like a hard pass, right? So when I came to TikTok, I was like my eyes open to a lot of things. Because I used to think my life was like bad, like, oh my gosh, like my parents, this, blah, blah, blah. But then I came to TikTok and started listening to people's stories and realized I've lived a very good life. I've lived a very privileged life. Like there are certain things that people have gone through, people my age, sometimes younger and sometimes older, but like they have gone through crazy stuff that like you would actually consider trauma. So again, my answer is similar to Betty's, where it's like, yeah, it's like little things that, well, I don't want to say little, but like it's just normal. um what's the word I'm looking for?
A learning experience.
Learning experiences, yeah, just like basic learning experiences, just being an adult, learning by error and trial, like that's what I've gone through. So I don't know, like there's nothing that I need to do to like get over it, because it was just mistakes that I had to make to learn from it so that I can grow and become like a quote unquote better adult. So yeah, I don't have like a lot of trauma to get over.
I'll jump in. This is Lorana. No wasted time. I'm chuckling at whoever said that about having conversations with yourselves. One of the projects that I finished before the end of the year was a book, and the subtitle is about having healing conversations with myself. And
Mm.
I guess about 20 years I've been intentionally on a healing journey just because I saw my own dysfunction. I realized that yeah, I got stuff that happened in my past, trauma and just life. Life is traumatizing. And I realized that I couldn't stay in that place because it was, where you look at yourself and you say, I'm the one that's the hot mess. Yeah, stuff happens on the outside and that's part of the problem. But I was a part of my life's problem too. And in that process of really searching for how do we do that therapy, and there's lots of options out there. I information crossed my path, and there was a guy that therapeutically started looking at how to heal trauma, how to heal PTSD, and I was introduced to a framework that gives me a thinking process for how to undo the damage of trauma. But it forced me to realize that trauma wasn't just the big stuff. Trauma was anything that conflicted with my life values that created, it's kind of like we talk about microaggressions. It's one little bit, one little bit of poison, it adds up over a lifetime. And so you go decades. And I started learning this framework. And what it has allowed me to do is really work through the situations, not only that have happened in the past, but it lets me deal with real life in a real time way so that the things that could be traumatizing in my real life, that I have a framework for processing that stuff so that it doesn't create trauma. And it gives me it has helped me to increase things like my emotional intelligence. It gives me the framework for being able to have deal with conflict when it comes up, because that's just the reality of life. You're going to be in conflict with people from time to time. And that process of thinking for me has become really my first nature. And I started realizing that if I think through life in this way, it forces me into a really logical process about the things that are happening in life. It forces me to sort out the facts from the analysis that I'm trying to do. It has stopped me from trying to read other people's minds and take responsibility for the part of life that I can control. And that is my emotional health, the responses that I do, whether or not my emotions are driving my life, or if my values and my logic are driving my life, and as far as my responses. And so it's made me more self-aware of my own issues. I'm able to more clearly see when my ego stuff is showing, my insecurities, my fears, my guilt trips that I hold on to, and then take ownership of those to say, wait a minute, if I act in this way, even though I may be right, I'm going to make this situation worse, and I'm going to cause damage to myself and to the other person I'm interacting with. Do I want to leave them worse? Do I want to leave this interaction worse than I came into it? And so it's made me take real ownership of my behavior and my responsibility for dealing with my own set of fears and guilt and insecurities that just happen. It happens because my parents had issues, and it happens because the people in my life had issues, and they interacted with me in ways that were not loving. And it's been life changing for me. It's given me back control of my life where other people don't have so much control over me. Yes, I see bad behavior, but that bad behavior doesn't impact me where then I'm acting out of character in a way that then I'm not pleased with for myself. And so that's been transformational for me.
Mm, okay. What you got for us, Sage?
Um, I mean, maybe I can answer. Sorry, is my mic too loud? I don't know if it is or not.
Yeah,
It's
we
Uh,
okay.
go. We start between because I think they answer one. We on two right now, but you can do one and then go to two. But we gonna go in order with the
okay.
questions.
Okay. For one, I would say, um, for example, basically, I would see it as, instead of going just, you know, uh, specifically off my own view or my opinion of something, to fully understand something that another person is explaining, you definitely do have to listen. Instead of just going based off your own opinion, to actually understand, whatever the situation is, you can't exactly, expect to meet in the middle with someone if you don't listen to what they have to say, or
Right.
you over talk them, you know what I mean, and put your personal opinion in it, because you're not going to get to the primary, like, meaning of what they're trying to explain to you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that's something that definitely happens a lot. And then sorry to say this, it definitely happens on here. But a lot of people just don't, they want to hear each other out. You know what I mean? 'Cause, personally, I don't think there's nothing wrong with being wrong. If you are wrong about something, and there's always that opportunity to learn something. You know what I mean? And
Right. Exactly.
see things in a different view or a different aspect. You know what I mean? That can help you in the long run. You know what I mean? As a person. So, like I said, it's always good to listen to what someone else has to say. Um,
Mm-hmm.
do I just
Said, are you
what?
you good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess me for last. What do you think? What do you do to get over your past? Well, me myself, I I learned what had recently happened and how I fully get over it. I just always look at. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So I always look at it like even if it's good or bad, it's some reason behind it, and I know it's better gonna come at the end of it. And that's happened in my life a lot of the times, especially if I lose a job or something like that. If I lose a relationship, I lose something. It's something. I look at it. It wasn't meant, and wasn't meant at that time. It's meant for me to do something else. Always look at it and not think about it in a positive type of way. And that's what kind of helped me get over my past and stuff. So I don't sit there and think too hard on it and like why me, why this happened like that. No, I just look at it at my past built me to be the character I am today. It got me to thinking the way I think today, and and it was yesterday. You know what I'm saying? That was it is what it is back then. I got what I got out of it, good or bad. Like I said, the good stuff, you keep even the bad stuff you learn from. So I just look at it like, it is what it is at the end of the day. That's how I always think about everything that happened. Like even if my car just went out, my battery ain't started, I just, I keep myself, I keep myself, I keep in my mind like, well, it's a reason behind it. Maybe, that's saving me from getting on the road and getting in an accident. I think about a lot of stuff that can be a possibility of why my stuff didn't work. And it's like a way, even if you could think about a negative situation, but they put it in a positive type, like it's saving me from something or something like that. But I just look at stuff, try to look at it in a positive ways. That's what I do. So that's how I get over my past. All right. So next question: why do people assume another person is hurt because their feelings got hurt? You can go ahead. We gonna start from so and then up again. So you sleep? Oh.
Uh, can you give a little bit more context? What do you mean? Like,
Okay. Why do like some people? Because I see that a lot. A person to listen to somebody on a live or listen to somebody or say if I say something to you or something like that, but basically you didn't like what I say, even though it might have been it might have been some truth behind it, and they automatically assume that I'm doing it out of anger or I'm doing it out of or because I was hurt or something like that. Why would I state something that hurt their feelings? You know what I'm saying? So why do
oh,
people do
you're
that?
talking about like the
Yeah.
"who hurt you" comments and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
them "who hurt you" ones. Yeah, they quick to say
Oh,
that,
okay.
you know what I'm saying? Or they assume that they're hurt because they feelings got hurt, which I noticed that a lot.
So my theory is, people that usually like say that, whatever is being said doesn't like usually apply to them. So say you're talking about, women that lie and cheat and all this stuff. And I come in the comment, I'm like, damn, like who hurt you? It's like it's not something that I could relate to. I could just assume that somebody did those horrible things to you. So then I just, instead of just listening because you might want to vent or whatever, I go to, maybe who hurt you. That's the only thing that I can say, because as far like I don't usually say that. So I don't really know. That's the only thing that the only assumption that I can make when it comes to that, unless I'm missing your question completely. Is that does that make
Um,
sense? Anybody could jump in anytime,
I
by the
I
way.
get you a little, I get you a little bit though, but
Okay.
my main thing was is actually people that don't. It's actually people that don't be hurt, but I think the person that, and I'm trying my best to not say so I don't give everybody so everybody can answer the way I'm answering it. I'm trying to just basically say that some people will look at another person as hurt because their feelings got hurt of what they say. Like, say if I was like, let me see, because I'm trying to see if I can state a fact. I could state a fact or a situation, and then if it apply to somebody, basically. I'm trying to think. What can I use an example? I'm over looking around the house like I find an example.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness. I hope you're gonna find it on the walls.
say I'm like, okay, dang man, usually ashy people need lotion or something like that. And then there's all of a sudden that ashy person be like, "Oh, who hurt you? Why you saw something like that?" You know what I'm saying? But I'm stating the fact that you need lotion. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Most of the time I be seeing a lot. I see a lot of that stuff though, and then the person automatic because it apply to them some type of way or whatever. They be like, "Oh, you must be hurt because you're saying that or something like that." But they missed the whole point. They missed the whole point because they missed the whole point of what they saying because I think it applied to them. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to say that. I feel like I'm saying
They
this without.
they basically like redirected it towards them as a slug. You know what I mean? I would say,
Yeah, that's what it did. Yeah.
Mm,
But
sort of
all right,
like a
but
deflection tactic.
you wanna re-answer that again, Sosa, or you just
No, I want to let
you
you
good?
listen, and
Okay, all right, go
see
ahead,
the other
Natalie.
perspectives.
I agree with So that is usually the person that she that came in and they didn't really listen, or they automatically agree with the topic, and then they see somebody going in and they might not necessarily have or be dealing with this with the topic that somebody's talking about, so they're assuming that the person is hurt. But I also
Mhm.
feel like my answer coincides with number four. Sometimes you can tell that the person is actually hurt the way that they are going in on a specific individual. Like I don't I got the reason why I got bananaed is because I was making examples of how people were going in on people, and then I got bananaed for violations. I don't want to say it, but let's say ashy person needs lotion. These ashy person, they don't never wear lotion. Every single time they come outside, they just so ashy. I like y'all never take accountability for the fact that you just ashy. You just don't want to ever
And
put on
Yeah,
dry.
lotion.
exactly.
Like, and then I'm just like, okay. Like, because now it's to the point where, you, the whole, I thought that it went black again. I was like, oh no. Now it gets to the point where the whole live is like based on the complaints of that same person who has a complaint about somebody with ashiness, and they don't stop talking about it the entire time. You can tell that they're getting riled up and upset about it, and then there's no I feel like somebody who's not hurt and is just basically saying ashy people need lotion will then come up with a suggestion like, hey, a suggestion would be like, you go to this store, they have some really good lotion here, you can buy it at this inexpensive price right here. Like, they come up with really good suggestions on how to fix the ashiness. But there's some people you can tell that they're hurt because they don't want suggestion. They don't want to give you suggestion on how to fix the ashiness. They just want to keep on going in on the fact that you
So,
ashy.
like how you said
So
that though.
that to
Like how
me
you
is
said
like a
that. So,
sign of a hurt person because they have no solutions. They just want to complain.
okay, so that's what. Yeah, but I see you mixed one of three and four together. But I guess you probably got to skip number four. But so three, just like that last part, that's what I mean. And people that's actually giving suggestions of different lotions to put on, and they still, and that other person still be like looking at them like, well, who hurt you? You're giving all these suggestions and stuff, something like that. That's what I mean. That last
It's
part, not
almost
the
as
not the
if
first
like,
section
why do
though.
you care so much? Is that what you mean?
Basically, they just trying to fix the solution of ashiness, something like that. So they be like, all right, well, to get rid of that ash, they say a bunch of suggestions, but them suggestions be hurting them. You know what I'm saying? It hurt the other person, so they quick to hurt to tell you like, well, why you're talking about that? Who hurt you or something like that? But then they giving you solutions of how to fix the ashes. You know what I'm saying? Or the ashiness. I mean. So that last part, that's what I was meaning. Not actually going to four. I wanted to do four, but she mixed it together already. So. But
Mm.
yeah, that last part, that's what I was meaning. Is people hit the reverse Uno card with people that actually give good suggestions or solution to it or whatever. They missed the solution because they put they. But let me not, because I'm about to end up answering my own too. But go ahead, Sage.
Um, I mean, I mean, I kind of agree with what's been said in the sense. I mean, I get from all points of view. I mean, it's all valid in a sense. So like, I can't comment on this one.
Hmm. Okay.
I'll jump in. I think it's the same problem. It's just both sides of the same problem. In the example that we're using, I think the first thing, and it always comes down to our ego stuff on either side of the situation. And I think this is how we damage each other kind of in the go back and forth. I think in the first part of that, the first question would be, why is the person addressing that issue? Are they addressing the person's ashiness because they want to point out that this person is less than in some way? Because you can insert any other kind of way where someone's got criticism about someone. Is that their role to point out the ashiness, and is their intention to really help them solve a problem? The other side is the person that's receiving that information. If the person's ego was in a healthy place, they'd say, oh my, look at that ashiness. I agree with you. And it would be done. And they'd move on and decide if they want to resolve the issue or not. But I think we get both sides of that where someone's attacking someone, and it may be, that passive aggressive kind of attack, but really I'm pointing out something that's a shortcoming in you. And it's like, why are you doing that? What's your intention from the beginning? And then on the other side, can you hear truth? Because truth can be truth, and you may not want to hear it. If you're insecure, then you've got
That's
to
what
have a
I'm.
response. You've got to deflect
Well,
it.
you
You've got
just
to
said it.
take it back.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You
I agree
just
with
said
that.
what
So
I
it's
was
both
talking.
sides.
That's the point of me getting to it. I was about to get to it, and you answered the way that I was trying to try to
Yeah.
get get them to understand. That's the way I was talking about. Actually, it being the truth, and they get. So you just said it right there. That's
But
yep.
both sides can be damaging because
Yeah, but I'm
even
not.
if
I
I
wasn't
bring
talking about
truth,
both sides though. I wasn't talking about. In my question, I wasn't talking about both sides. I wanted to get to number four with that, but y'all was answering number four before I even got to four. I was just trying to hear the people that actually, the ones that's actually telling the truth. And what you just
yeah,
said, it's an insecurity. That's what I was gonna get
it's
to. It's an
it's our
insecurity.
fears, it's our insecurities, it's our ego stuff, that we can't hear the truth, that we can't process it. We go into the defensive mode because that's the response behavior that we'll
Yep.
give. Let me defend myself first before I even
Yep.
evaluate the truth. And I think that's just our damage. That's our damage. That's an area of my
Yep.
life. If I'm the one responding in ego, then it's part of my insecurities that either I choose to look at or I choose to feed
Mhm.
into my insecurities. One way will make me better,
Mhm.
one way will make me worse.
Yep. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh yeah, I think who hurt you pretty much, especially if you're not prepared to help said person that you're asking if they're hurt. I think it's a deflection, a dismissal, and a denial of what they're saying. And usually, when you're connected to some, if you're trying to connect and you can understand what someone is saying, you're not going to be dismissive or
Right.
deflective.
Right.
That's not something that someone who's trying to show understanding that they hear what you're saying, they hear what's happening, um, because there's a lot of people who are basically inhumane. A lot of people consider themselves good people, but they're not so much good people in relationships with people. In other words, they don't play well with others. Um, and basically, as said, you're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. And if you are
Yep.
not part of the solution, then why would you be talking to people who may be hurting? Because you're going to ultimately make them worse. Like that black woman therapist who got fired. She wasn't she don't care about none of her clients. She just takes their stories and just tells everybody to make points on how bad she thinks men are. And I think a lot of people, they appoint themselves. They have this high horse where they feel like their opinion supersedes that of anyone else or anyone else's experiences. And it's sad because people, when they telling something and they want support for what they're going through, they want validation, but they invalidate other people.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
And
you said that
and
perfect. That's exactly you got that right on the you. And I think you'll know what y'all did it the way I was trying to. Because I don't know if I was like I said I don't know if I was explaining it right, but I think y'all understood as we started talking about it. That's what I was meaning. Exactly what I was meaning.
I do.
But
May I
it,
comment on
so
that?
what's up?
No, I was gonna say, may I comment on that?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I think that I agree with the part where you said, Mike, what is it? You said that what is the point of asking if you're not there to offer any solution? And I see that a lot. Like there's a lot. It's almost used as an insult sometimes when people ask that question. And now that I think about it, it's like there is a hypocrisy there because when the roles are flipped, you do want everybody to kind of cater to you and be understanding and not insult you, but when it's you on the other side, you want to insult people. So I think that that was an interesting point that you made, and I completely missed that before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let me. I guess it's my turn to answer that, and then we gonna get to number four. So basically, that's what I feel like, especially if it's just like how Mike was saying all that stuff. It's an insecurity or something like that, especially like when because some of the times the solution, if like especially okay on platforms, they speaking out loud on it, it's something that it's people that's gonna want to listen, and that's gonna go back to number one to listen to understand. You know what I'm saying? So they're not actually listening with their feelings, and they trying to actually find a solution. But when the solution comes to something that's got to deal with changing themselves, that's when they're gonna look at it as, like I was talking about another lot about bash, and they're gonna look at it as bash and like, nah, that's something I'm not trying to change, or that's something I can't change, or something like that. But they're trying to change the fact that it's a fact of that situation. So they look at it as, oh, you must be hurt. You must be hurt because you're talking about this, and really to be their feelings that be hurt. That's what it is. It's their feelings that hurt because it hurt because the truth hurt. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody telling me, like, say if they tell me, nah, like, man, uh or they start talking about my weight or something like that, say I'm big or something like that, whatever, and I'd be like, man, you just bash, but literally I'm sitting here 300 pounds or something like that, so how are they lying? You know what I'm saying? It's just all and then they tell me solution like, well, you just gotta start eating less, you gotta work out more and all that stuff. They don't like that solution because they don't want to do that. They don't want to they don't, you know what I'm saying? That's too much for them. How you telling me I don't work out or something like that? That is the solution. Like they don't like what they don't like the solution. That's what it is. They know it's a solution, but they don't like it because they never wanted. They didn't want to take the time to do it. They wanted to eat. Them people that usually want the easy route or whatever like that. They wanted they just wanted to be on their lap. They the ones usually be the ones that just sit in delusion and think you could just still be the same person and expect change or something like that. That's what they call it, like delusion and stuff. Like you just gonna sit there, do the same thing, act the same way, be the same way and expect change or thinks. Them people that usually think the world's supposed to revolve around them and their decisions and stuff, and that ain't true. I was actually made a post about that before. Like, sometimes we gotta adapt in this world. Sometimes we can try to live in our own world. Yes, it's good to try to make your own world, but we still living in this world, and we can't. It's not gonna bend around our opinions and our decisions and stuff. So we do gotta find different ways to adapt to what we got and what we don't get. You know what I'm saying? We gotta adapt to it to fit in and to even survive. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so that's basically at the end of the day, the person that be saying who hurt you, they be and not really listening to the message, which go back to number one, not listening to understand. Them are the ones that be hurt. They can't take the truth because they know that, and usually be the people that want to dodge statistics and all that stuff. Like, man, no, statistics ain't right. But when you listen to statistics that say something that don't got nothing to do with you, you know what I'm saying? You want to listen to that though. It's like to pick and choose the situation, but you'll never get a solution if you want to be coddled the rest of your life. You'll never get to a solution though, and you're gonna forever keep saying who hurt you and all this, and nothing gonna change because you got to change for something to change. You can't be your same person and not expect anything else to change. You got to realize that the world don't revolve around you and your opinions all the time, and your beliefs, your truth. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, the last one, number four, number four. Uh, thanks, Deborah. Thanks. Number four. I'm still gonna get you. Now we're gonna go backwards. I might have switched the way the screen look, but you getting it first. We're gonna go backwards again.
Hey, thank you guys
And
for
what?
having me on. I got to drop, but thanks for
Oh yeah, for
having me.
sure, for sure, for sure. Make the screen
Yeah,
bigger.
also I wanted to add, within criticism, there's going to be a type of criticism that you would get from people in the street who aren't family, people who really don't care about seeing you doing better. I think that's who you
Mm-hmm.
would most um, most likely to suspect hearing that from who hurt you. But from people of family who don't want to see you going through something, who would probably try to have an intervention with you, I don't think
Mm-hmm.
those words would be uttered from that group, from people who care
Yeah.
about you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep, I feel you on that. That makes sense.
I think it depends on the health of your family. I would hear those things in my family,
Oh
you
wow.
know.
Mm.
So I think it depends
Well,
on the health of your family. I have family that was
if
very
you're
critical healing, oh, you're doing that healing work. Oh, you're doing that healing work. And that was used as one of those deflection things, for setting healthy boundaries. Because that's usually what would be happening. I'd be setting healthier boundaries to say, you know what? I'm not going to be in the presence of this toxicity. Oh, you're doing that healing. And part of that is it's just a litmus test of the health of the people that that you're involved with, and it doesn't excuse family. Family got issues too.
yeah, you do
I
got
agree with
shitty
that.
Most
fam
definitely.
who
Most
will try to
definitely.
hold crap against you, like You threw food at me when we was 5. Like, yeah, you got shitty
Right,
fam who,
Right.
right,
you know,
right. You hit that point
the
on
the
for real. They don't let go.
but
They don't let go.
most of your family will try to encourage you to do better. Um, not excluding those ones who you may have negative relationships with, who everybody don't. Oh, is they coming to the family reunion? Oh man, and you see them and you want to walk in the other direction. Like,
Yeah, that's everybody's family
we're
is
not talking.
somewhere.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we ain't talking about those folk, but the folks who generally have your best interests at heart, you won't hear that type of language from.
No,
Right.
exactly. Because they actually gonna try to listen to understand. They gonna try to figure out, you know what I'm saying, without putting their feelings in it. They gonna actually like, you know what, yeah, that is gonna better me. Everybody, and then that's the
'Cause
other thing. Everybody, they pride get in the way too. Like they feel like they don't need no type of change. They don't need to. They be feeling like that way. Like, nah,
these
you gotta take me as I am looking. So, you know what I'm saying? But everybody literally has something to work on daily. Every last single person, even if it gotta go down to the attitude. It gotta go down to, maybe finances, maybe to, health. It's always something we gotta work on daily. So, why not? Why not listen? Why not figure something out to help you?
yeah,
You know what
we
I'm
got
saying? We say.
a lot of people go through life with beefs with their siblings and beef with their parents, not
Yeah.
only their siblings. And you know, I would like to ask, and this is how you know your family or not. Do you know if you went to court for something, you got arrested for something that and you're totally innocent, who would show up for you? And you know exactly the answer to that question.
Mm,
You
mm,
know exactly who wouldn't show up. The ones who would show up, those are the ones who I really define as real family, the real people who have your back. That's what they're there for. Even in a relationship, they're supposed to have a family type aspect, whoever you choose.
mm. Yeah, you're right about that for sure. Trying to put my dang on, get my, what you call it here. All right, so, hey, what happened to Sosa? She's just gonna drop up out of here. She know I'm about to get her on there. All right,
She be leaving people. You know what? I think she looks like a cheater. She looked like a cheater.
she look
I was gonna slide in her inbox, but I don't know. I don't know.
That's funny. All right, let's see. What was this? Every time I get on TikTok, some chick doing that same old stuff. Chick doing that stinking dance, shaking their butt and stuff. Um, so we're gonna get to the last one, I guess. I guess we're gonna start with Sage first.
Question
What
four.
are signs? Huh?
Oh, okay, okay. Question four, right? Oh, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, number four. Yep. What are signs of a hurt person?
Um, okay, with this one, um, I would say, um, I would say it definitely shows like just by by their demeanor, like how they, you know, how they carry themselves, how they act, if you know, if they ever suffered like a certain amount of trauma or like a certain amount of betrayal, stuff like that, you know what I mean? Um,
Hmm.
they already have like dealt with like large amounts of that pain. So when it comes down to them getting like insulted by someone uh, afterwards, what I mean, you can tell it doesn't really um, take an effect on them. You know what I mean? You can just tell by their facial expression, um, the way they react to it. You know what I mean? That it literally is it literally almost doesn't bother them anymore because they already done went through a certain amount of pain of with past experiences, stuff like that, and it changed who they are as a person. Um, you know, in a sense, make them a little bit hollow inside. You know what I mean? So like, whenever you come down to you trying to get an effect out of them, it's not gonna really work. You know what I mean? Because they already done,
Mm-hmm.
you know, went through all that. You know what I mean? So it's not really gonna affect them as a person, and you could just tell that by the way they react to it, and like I said, their facial expression, you know, demeanor, etc. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep. Mm-hmm. You got waste.
I think definitely I watch the behavior. I listen to what people say. If it's any of those
Mm-hmm.
things under the category of ego, that it's pulling out, pointing out their fears and their insecurities. I look for those things. I trust that people tell you and give you the indications um,
Mm-hmm.
of their hurt. You know.
Okay, what you got for us, Mike? What the heck? That's the shortest ever I ever heard from you. No waste. You usually have a long thing. What?
Well,
This
I
the
think
same? No
I
waste.
think
he really he covered it. It's always it's the
Oh, okay,
ego.
I
You
got
see
you.
the ego
It
response.
shocked me. I'm like, you usually have a whole thing going on.
Nah,
This.
like
I
it's
was
real
ready for
simple. Like when you learn to
it.
see what ego responses look like anytime
Mm-hmm.
you see someone responding in the ego, you know that there's some damage there. Whether it's me acting in that way towards someone or whether it's someone acting in that way towards me. Anytime I see ego, I just tell myself that's a damaged area. I can decide when not to
Mm-hmm.
deal with it. If I go poke the ego, I make us both worse. If I take someone in the opposite direction, like don't trigger those ego things. It's like knowing that somebody's got an injury in a certain area and you kick them in that area. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to understand
Mm-hmm.
differently. Because if you say something to me and I get triggered, I go back at you, both of us are going to leave this situation worse. Which means if we're trying to
Right.
solve something and we both are leaving out of here limping, we both are worse able even if it's just me sending you back into society, you're going to be worse and a bigger problem for somebody down the line. You'll be more
Yep.
damaging to somebody else. So to me, when I look at those things, then I have to make a choice. But I had to do some healing so that I wouldn't get triggered. Because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
our ego responses, we can't control them. Our emotions are just in control. And so we go and damage somebody. Then we go home and say, man, I should have even said that. Oh man, I feel
Mm-hmm.
bad. I didn't really mean that. I shouldn't have attacked them like that. And it's like it's too late because the damage is already done. And so as I got better with handling and dealing with my stuff, then those areas didn't get triggered until they got triggered. Just my awareness let me then make a choice. Do I choose to go back with my ego or do I choose to let them have this? Because even if I'm right, if I attack with my ego, I'm going to traumatize myself and I'm going to traumatize that person. So maybe I can't help them, but what I can do is not traumatize myself. And if I go off on them, that's going to cause damage for me. I got to go back and do some more
Yep.
healing because now I done damaged myself some more. And so part
Right.
of my healing journey was if you can't help nobody else, the first thing you do is stop traumatizing yourself. So when they
Yep.
come and you feel yourself wanting to rise up, it's like, wait a minute, you can go there. And I can use all of my words. I know a whole bunch of them. I can use my words and give somebody a real nice, nasty tongue lashing if I want to. But if I do that, and that's against my value system, what I'm going to do is I'm going to traumatize myself. And I
Yep.
can control not traumatizing myself. I can't control your behavior. I can put boundaries up, but I can't control your behavior. But what I can
Yep.
do is control mine. And so, if that is the best case scenario, you may traumatize me, but I'm not going to traumatize myself and add to it. And so,
Mm-hmm.
I have learned when I see ego, anybody's ego, and that includes mine, I don't exclude myself. Anytime somebody's responding with their ego, it's an insecurity.
I
It's a
got you.
fear.
Okay.
It's a fear. It's a guilt. It's insecurity. Now, if I'm interested in helping make this situation better, because see, I don't have to know nothing more. Ego response, it's ego. I don't have to know whether it's fear or guilt or insecurity. If I'm committed to investing in you, then I will listen and I'll try to figure out, is this fear? Let me listen to what they're saying. Oh, they're really afraid. They're afraid. Or is it insecurity? This person's showing their insecurities. Because if I want to help you be better, if I want to leave you better than I found you, then if I understand that you've got some insecurities, it's like if I know that's your area of weakness, would I then go and harp on your insecurities? And I see this in some of the male female dialogue. Well, it's women. Well, it's men.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's both of us. We damage each other. Like you can't exclude
Mm-hmm.
one party from that. And if I understand that you got some dysfunction and I now come at you and look, this is what's wrong with you. This is if I beat you down with that, I'm leaving you worse. If you realize I got
Mm-hmm.
some issues, what you should not do is beat me down because now I'm going to be worse. I already got issues that you're trying to prove that I got. Now you adding on to those issues, so I'm 2 degrees worse. How have you won in that situation? I'm 2 degrees worse, unleashed on the world, and me and my dysfunction are now more powerful, more damaged to be able to inflict damage on other people. And so sometimes I think the way we interact, if we don't learn to do better, we're a part of the problem, even in some of the conversations I hear where we talk about fixing what's wrong with society,
Mm-hmm.
fixing what's wrong with community. And we don't understand that we are actually, in the name of doing good work, causing more damage. And so
Mm.
we're making the problem that we're trying to fix worse, even in the midst of that. And so I think that's for me where I become so passionate because every problem we got in society, the answer is let's heal people. We can have conversations if we get a little bit healed so that we can have a civil dialogue about whatever it is we're trying to, find solutions for or find out what the problem is. So I think, for me, it's a real simple thing. It comes back to that real basic. It's whether or not we want to fix that because fixing our ego stuff is sometimes the thing we don't want to do. We do the illogical. We feed that ego stuff. I want to go into environments where they just put a battery in my back and amp me up. Yeah, go after her, go after
Mm-hmm.
her, go after her, go after him, go after the men, go after the women. And it feels good because we like that drug.
Right.
We like
Right.
that
I
drug.
see that. Yeah.
So we got to fix the addiction and trauma. My platform. Trauma is an addiction, and we feed it with our ego fueling behaviors. It's an addiction. It's the same illogical thing. It's like you know something wrong with them because of the way they acting, and so you jump in the circus with them. Now you both in the circus going in circles. So I think it's a matter of do we want to fix it? Um, because sometimes we like being petty.
Right. Ego. 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 There we go. That's the no waste of time I know. I knew she got a little bit more. That sounded weird, just a couple words. I knew it. There she go. She's back.
Anytime I got a soapbox every day, I can pull out a portable soapbox at any given time. I just don't
I
sometimes,
know, right? I was like, hold on,
not
this
because I
ain't her
can't.
stuff. Look, that's the
It's
shortest
because
I
I
ever
don't.
heard. What you got for us, Mike? She done probably
Well,
answered it already. That was some good stuff. That she
to
was on
me,
point about a lot of it.
yeah, she did pretty good, man. For me, it's kind of different, because I have been hurt and I have been healed, and I've noticed that other people, they could be happy-go-lucky as fuck and be hiding they hurt.
Yep.
I've seen I've seen couples do that shit, and you just think from the outside looking in, oh man, they just as wonderful as can be. It's really hard, in my opinion, because and you can look for symptoms, you can look for factors, different things, different nuances in their behavior or whatever. Um, to me, sometimes when you're talking about something that might hurt you or somebody might be on live and then the who hurt yous come, I feel like those are jabs at that person.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those people might be hurt and don't want to talk about it. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying?
Yep.
I've learned in my older age to be more patient than I used to be and to kind of listen to people more because I've been misunderstood. I don't know, maybe the way I speak or something, but people don't really think that I'm taking things in. But I study people a lot,
Yep.
and some people are so deep in a box. Even if you can try to do little nice things, different gestures to try to make them feel like you care, sometimes they might not be receptive to that because it's like an abused animal in a corner. Like, get away from me. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man. People be living in their head. Like they was talking about earlier, having conversation with yourself and stuff that, you know, I've done that. Um, but yeah, as far as being able to tell hurt people, um, in my opinion, those are the people who hold grudges the longest. Those are the people who try to take one instance that you talked about and they try to make this your whole life. They
Mm-hmm.
make umbrella and blanket statements and try to put everything in a box. But I think once you are able to mature, you can get to try to know people and try to understand people. So
And so
yeah,
it is.
that's
Take it
kind of a
personal.
hard shell to crack. Go ahead.
I think it's
Mm-hmm.
also not taking it personal. When we realize other people have issues, that sometimes those issues aren't personal to us. Their response to, something we say or what have you, it's got to do with their stuff. I think learning to not take it all personal, like I didn't do anything to this person. This person's response isn't really appropriate for the kind of dialogue. This is something in their own, in their own being that's causing them to be triggered in this way. And sometimes realizing that it's not personal, it has nothing to do with us personally. For me, that lets me, this is not a personal attack against me. This is something they got going on in their own life that I can't see that's causing them to respond in this way.
Right, you can see them hitting it hard in the gym. Some people go to the gym to sweat it out.
Mm-hmm.
Some people want to argue. Some people put up a happy face. Like a lot of people have a different vice for trying to cope or put a wall in front of their pain.
Mm-hmm. I
And I
wish
think
You
it's
we're
might
seeing
look
different
at
though.
them in the gym like, damn, you really love the gym. And then they like, get out of my face. I'm going through something.
Right, exactly. I would recommend it if that was the choice, at least get it out on something healthy like a gym or a good walk or maybe listen to some music or something like that. That'd be a good way of doing it though. But, everybody do got something that they trying to get over. It's just all about shifting that. And that comes with the emotional control thing, just shifting that energy to something else. If you can't let something go or if you gotta need time to think and
I
stuff.
think we see in society when people aren't able to do that, and we're seeing the responses escalate, when people aren't able to deal with their stuff. We're
Yeah.
seeing it lash out in violence. We're seeing, you know, look at the news. We see how people respond when they can't process their stuff. And I think that's getting
Hmm.
intense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
time
so
heals, time reveals, and time kills. Um, you get a sprain in your leg, same thing your gym trainer will tell you. You got to walk it out. You got to walk through that pain. You got to let your muscles keep working. You got to face whatever your issue is and let time kill it and
yep.
work them muscles. When you don't work your muscles, your legs, and your legs specifically, they kind of get skinny. That's what they call atrophy from not. That's why the people who are in wheelchairs who not using their legs get
Mm-hmm.
skinny like that. But as they
Mm-hmm.
begin, like when they get the therapy to be able to walk again, and you see as they're doing therapy and they're working those muscles, and their appetite might have came up a little bit more, you see they're able to kind of work through a lot of pain. And some people, their legs are like, I mean, their life, their pain is like them old skinny legs on a disabled person. They might have a lot of pain, a lot of years of sitting on that pain instead of trying to actually heal it. So, you know, you got to understand like um everybody wasn't saying, I mean, hey, let me make my life the best of it. Some people hit a brick wall and they never got back up. And those are the people who you talk to and you're like, damn, why are they, you know, you might be shocked at that. You might be a young person. Like I remember I was asking this older dude, I was like, hey man, let me get a cigarette from you. He's like, get out my face. And then I was like, I wanted to say something crazy to him. This one I was a little bit younger, like
Yeah.
maybe 15 years younger. And I was like, dang, why he just mad all off this? But then I thought about it. He might have. party his life away to where he got to work hard while he's old. And here I come just trying to ask him for a cigarette that he spent his hard-earned money for. He might have had a hell, like, from based off decisions he may have went through hell. And so instead of cussing at the dude, I thought about it. I was like, nah, man, I ain't gonna give this man a hard time. But a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people go through stuff like you might not even understand, but some folk might not even think about it like that. They'll just instantly respond and give him the negative energy that, you know, he gave to you. And I don't think that's always useful, especially for our people trying to remend relationships.
I think we
Yeah,
see
it's
that
that
a lot.
emotional control.
We see that a lot, and I think that's the damage. Damage people, damage people. You get
Yep.
triggered and you respond in your ego stuff, and you both leave the situation worse. I
Yep.
think I think that's actually more common than the alternative approach. I think if we look around, that's the more common response. We respond, however we triggered. Somebody looked at me a certain way. I felt disrespected, or just petty things. But we respond in those ways, and I think that's part of what we see in society right now.
Mm.
Yeah, a lot of the media from when we're children, it's all violence. Even if you look at Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner, Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd, even if you look at the sports, there can be one winner, one loser.
Hmm.
For our entire life cycle, our entire lifetime, they are giving us this idea. And I feel like I don't have to win every argument, but I see the people who feel like they have to get the last word. They have to get the no, man. What's right for our people?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because I could be right and disconnect our people, but honestly, sometimes yeah, I am toxic on here because I don't like seeing people containing the lies or the privilege that sisterhood has made on our people, and I want to reconnect with one of my beautiful sisters, and hopefully one day get married again. But the way this twerking culture, the 304 culture, and even I noticed the men they're automatically changing, but there's still room for improvement for everybody, like the Bible say. But I go extra hard because I don't like the fact that I was doing stupid stuff in my youth, and I married somebody who was stupid. And as I began to try to change and start thinking about things to not make life harder for my kid, like she wasn't on that same level. And I don't, hold every woman responsible. At first, I was like, damn, man, because I really wanted to get a family because, I seen my mom and dad, they was married, you know what I'm saying? And even though some of my siblings, like, we ain't stick by it, we was taught that we're not supposed to have sex before we get married. I think we should have plans like that in the community. We should have things like
Oh,
morale. And I
yeah,
haven't given
most
up
definitely.
on our women. I haven't. But hell yeah, am I hard on them? Hell yeah, and I'm gonna continue to be hard on them until everything change.
But are you hard on them in a way that helps them be better or helps them be worse?
Oh yeah, I try to give them the truth now, whether they want to receive the truth or not. And basically, I'm only talking about the ones who are, they're delving into that 304 lifestyle or they agree with that. We have to put this stuff down. I grew up in this same society. I'm not no better than nobody. I'm gonna get judged by God too. We all have to
Mm-hmm.
put this down. Like prophecy is happening. Things is written in the scripture. Everybody might not believe. That's not my power to force you to believe. But through the things that is happening in the society, I will keep pointing it out. I don't care if it takes me out the game like it did Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, because they kept talking about things needed to change, and the power structure did not like that. Good women, there's nothing to say about good women. The bad ones who's doing the bad stuff, we need to stop this. The bad dudes who's doing the crazy stuff, we don't really get a break in the society. They're looking for a reason to throw you in jail. So
Exactly. That's why I be trying to
it's
tell people like, dog, we gonna get men get held accountable no matter what. You know what I'm saying? That's what, but it's like I guess people
exactly.
like they don't want to hear that because they like, no, just worry about the men. But the thing is, they don't realize that, and it's been like that since I was a little kid. Like they do coddle the woman. Like, okay, say if a woman is overweight, they be like, no, just love your curves or something like that. Now, if a dude is overweight, they gonna be like, man, if you don't get your big self in the gym or something like that, you gonna get teased all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's many different things. You know what I'm saying? It's never their fault when they separate, it's never the woman for it. It's that man. You just picked the wrong man. The man he was a dog or something like that. But now when we finally tell them, you know, you made that choice or whatever, you don't open your legs and all that. But now that's both sides or something like that. Like, okay, we're not talking about that. It's obvious the dude is paying child support. He's getting, you know, he's going through all type of stuff too. Like he like the world is holding him accountable. But the thing is, you just don't want to be accountable on your end. And that's the only thing. That's why I be seeing different pages. I appreciate that they're, you know, actually doing that because it's been going like that since I was a little kid. They always, you know, it was always
Because they
blame
have
off
privilege.
and this and that, huh?
They have privilege and it's real.
Yeah.
And it
And then
and
you said it again.
and they taking handouts from the government, you know, and throwing
All
us under
that.
the bus. Meanwhile, we get the stupid image, and then when we speak up for having the stupid image so long, it's like this is the point in history where the men tried to change things that was wrong in our community, and we got heavy resistance from the women. We
Mhm.
can document this,
Yeah, but it is what it is, man.
and it's like a lot of times us men just like those men's stories need to be told, man. I'm interested. If you're not interested, you like your attitude is, can we please talk about something else? Like, well, okay, well, go ahead and scroll on. I'm gonna listen.
Man,
I'm gonna try to find a way because us men are thinkers. We're not gonna go ahead and make you the worst villain for doing what you did to that man. We're gonna find a way that that man can have access to better women. We
yeah,
find solutions. And I don't have any problem forgiving our sisters who've been living within this privilege and, you know, this get over on men culture that Little Kim was talking about, Foxy Brown was talking about, and a bunch of other females been talking about that women have been co-signing. We don't have to talk about that. All we got to do is start changing stuff for our people. But
yeah,
we can't just sweep it under the rug. We have to write down the things that destroyed our community and make sure that towards making a new community, we're not doing any of this stuff. Women
yeah,
have a power to make the relationship better by catching things that the man may miss. But and with these modern women, they be like, oh, let me do stuff behind his back. Let me always live in this gray area of things that this man is missing. They don't like knowing that a man outsmarted them at cheating and doing something stupid. If you're doing something like that, God's going to take you off the map anyway. I don't understand why they have this argument of, oh, men cheat. And then you let them talk on for a few minutes and they be like, well, we cheat the most and we do it the best. What? So what was your whole point? Like, we got to stop doing that stupid stuff. It's stupid and it's
yeah.
childish.
Yeah.
We could record this and
Yeah.
play it back. It still sounds stupid the second time you play it.
All right, so now I'm gonna do number 4 now because I didn't do it. So, what are signs of a hurt person? So, me myself, I notice like just like kind of going to like number 3, like when a person, respond to, especially when a person responds to a general statement, general question, and take it personal. That's a sign of a hurt person to me. All right, when a person, they angry at every suggestion or angry. You could tell just the way they talk sometimes. The way they talk, they be like, and yeah, them be like one of the main ones that blame everybody but themselves. That's another hurt person. They don't want to take accountability, which is you see the title of the room, so you're gonna hear that word a lot because I'm big on everybody being accountable for themselves and all that stuff. And that's a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to hear that word because they feel better to hold somebody else accountable. That's what they say, which I don't. I'm not no believer in that. I believe you can only hold yourself accountable. But I'm big on that
I
though.
got
Like I
I
said,
got I got labeled a woman beater from one chick I messed up with. And I'm still friends with all of my exes and ain't none of them ever say that about me. And I feel like to go to the extent to like women have to acknowledge they have a power to try to destroy a man's reputation. If people didn't know me so well and they were stupid around me, somebody could have easily believed that crap. And it doesn't
mm,
benefit us to get in a relationship knowing that women have this power against us.
mm, yeah, it do gets dangerous, man. It gets dangerous.
They can scoop
I,
a whole shovel full of doodle on your name. And if people are stupid enough to believe, it don't always work, but a lot of times it do.
that anyone is yeah, I feel you on that though. But you know that we had like since we was younger, you can't be blind to that we had it was we grew up in a believe all women situation and I know that y'all seen it. It's not like y'all never seen it before. Yes, we usually they be like just like even like okay, this sometimes okay, we're gonna put it this way. This is a society we living in now. Majority of the time man is guilty until proven innocent, and usually most of the time women are innocent until proven guilty. We can't say that's not a fact. It'd be like it's just been like that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Especially over somebody. Okay, say if we hear there's a fight going on, just like what Mike was saying earlier about how he got with this situation. If they hear there's a man and woman fight, they automatically going to say that they're going to go straight towards the man already. So we can't act like that's not true. Like we know that. Well, but what did he do? Did he touch you? Did he give you a blood? You know what I'm saying? Not knowing the whole time that he the one that was catching the 3-piece in the soda, and all he did was scooter away from her. You know what I'm saying? So
Thank you,
the thing is,
God. Thank you, God, because my baby mama ain't gonna lie. I don't want to scoop dirt on my name, but she did punch me in the face a few times and call the police and say it was me. And they got
yeah,
there and they looked at her with no scratches, clean. They looked at me with a bloody nose, bleeding all over my shirt, and they was about to take her. So the best part of is just to be right, do the right thing by people, man. Because
yeah,
I'm telling you, doing dirt is always gonna come back. When you hear a lot of these women, oh, abort black male babies and stuff. You know what? They was trying to manipulate men, and it didn't work out in their favor. It's not gonna work out in your favor. If I go and try to dog out women because I feel like I'm
correct.
entitled to it, a God's gift to
Correct.
women, like that's gonna come back to me, man.
So rap,
Whatever you
yes,
call,
real quick. You probably your page wouldn't be up. It's like big people gonna understand it's a real life double standard thing that's serious. That's really been on these apps, really been on this social media, just in life. It's allowed on one end and it's not allowed on the other end. People like You know, they even get on a dude. Okay, somebody just mentioned about Tate at the end of the bottom. You know what I'm saying? People like him, they take the worst parts of him, but he ain't doing nothing different from, a lot of it's chicks that still not as like saying the same exact thing, like use a man, do this to a man, that. But they promote that type of stuff though. But soon as a dude say something like use a or something like if it was to go that way, it's so rap. You know what I'm saying? He's getting canceled. Like I said, we can't act and be blind that this not happening, and we quick to hurry and say like, well, it's both. It's both. No, it's not. No, it's one. Like I said, one end is more held accountable than the other end. Like you can't. It's really a true double standard out here that one gender can't do the same thing as the other gender do. They can't say it. They can't express themselves the same way. We really gotta one gotta actually be sensitive of what they say. The other one can, all outlast, do what they want. You know what I'm saying? Are they gonna look at it? Well, they're just expressing themselves. They're in their feelings. The other one, if you do the other one do the same exact thing. No, you must be a hater. You're hurt and all this stuff and all that. Like we see that. We gotta stop acting blind to that stuff. We know that happened. Double standards are real. You know what I'm saying? Both on both ends. That stuff is just it's straight real. We can't act like that's not happening. I'm 30 some years old. That's been happening since I was since I've been born. We can't act like we don't see this stuff. But I don't
I
know why
think
people be acting so hurt that this junk is true. We know it's true. We know it's true.
I think though you're
But
talking about two different things. Recognizing that there's a double standard is one thing, but a lot of times when I hear these conversations, I hear them trying to say my pain's not as bad, my pain's worse than your pain,
no.
or you're getting away with it, so therefore, when I had children, that's what they would say. Well, so he got away with it. Well, I didn't see him do it. I saw you do it, and so you're the one that's in trouble now. But he did it first. Well, maybe so. It doesn't make it right. And I think when we start talking about solutions, yes, we need to acknowledge those things. There are double standards, but at the end of the day, it's wrong no matter who's doing it. It's wrong and it's damaging us. And so I would like to see us move past comparing whose pain is worse, who's
You
more
better
hurt, who's
tell it.
more damaged. Like, yes, there's a double standard. Let's fix it. Let's fix that. Let's have a standard that says if it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's wrong for you to be nasty and egging people on, it's wrong. If it's wrong to put your hands on somebody without their permission, it's wrong. Like, let's have a standard because I think if we're talking about solutions, if all we're doing is spending the time pointing fingers on who should be able to get off, who should have a little more grace in the situation, we're not fixing it. And so we've got to get back to a standard where our standards mean something. Right is right and wrong is wrong. If it's not good for you to do it, it ain't good for me to do it either.
Yeah. So
If
Oh
do
yeah,
you
it's
oh
not
yeah,
good
believe
for you
that?
to teach,
oh
it
yeah.
ain't
I'm
good
Do
for
you
not
me to
be,
teach.
condoning nobody. I
what
feel like a
about
segregation is in
accountability?
order.
What about accountability though? Because some people don't want to take that. You know what I'm saying? Because they are actually getting, which was my whole point of the whole thing. Even though I wasn't, I was mentioning double standard and all that stuff. But the whole point of that is like one, like I said, some people don't know how to hold themselves accountable and they're quick to blame, the other situation. Some people don't have the choice to
If
to
someone
to, to be held accountable or not because the world is going to keep them accountable. That was like my whole point of that situation, and that is their solution. First, you got to be held accountable for what you do. Now, if one,
But
I-
it's not just
if
about relationships. It's about relationships. Did someone invite you in and ask you to be their accountability partner in life? Like as a community, yeah, there's some standards that we have to talk about. But when we're talking about personal relationships, you wanting to hold me accountable, if you haven't
okay,
invested in me, you wanting to hold me accountable may be a product of your damage and your ego. Are you wanting to hold me accountable because you're in a loving relationship with me in community and we are in an accountability relationship? If I'm not willing to hold myself accountable, you think you're going to have more influence on holding me accountable? Especially if I haven't invited you into that intrusive space in my life? Who are we holding accountable and how? Sometimes, how we choose to spend our energy, I think, is also important. We want it to be effective. Does that person want to be held accountable? Because not everybody wants to change. Not everybody wants to change.
okay.
And that's why I said there
So
should be a segregation in order. Because on one side, I noticed on TikTok, there was black male creators and black female creators who are speaking to unity and love and mending things for the community. And then the other side, there's black males and black females talking about, oh, black men ain't ish, black women ain't ish. And I feel like those people with the like minds should stick together. Just like us black people who are talking about recreating a new Black Wall Street, a new pro family, pro life type system, we should be able to make that happen without all the static. We don't want to force anybody to believe anything. What we want to do is lead by example, so to show what works and what doesn't work. Just like 25 odd years ago when people started having more concerns about their health and they stopped consuming certain products. They started seeing the difference in how their body reacted without consuming toxic filled products into their bodies. And they started noticing there's a difference. Dr. Sebi was able to come and show that there's a difference. He was curing people's diseases by changing their diet. Okay, there's things that work and there's things that don't work. The way we've been doing things as a community does not work
Absolutely.
and it's not healthy.
So I got a question, for because I just thought about what just happened. Cause so I understand that you had the what you did the statement you made after I had I was mentioning some stuff or whatever. Did you understand anything I had said though, or did you just took out a certain part out and then you had a feeling towards it?
What are you referencing? I don't know what you're referencing.
I was just saying, did you? Because I was saying, I was talking about, certain situations that needed solutions to or whatever. And I was mentioning that. But did you even understand anything I had said about it? Because I know you were just saying that I heard you when you right after I said it, you was like, well, that's the problem. People look at it double standards and it's like comparing it to little kids and it's like but I was saying, but besides that, did you understand anything I had said like that was leading to that? You know what I'm saying? I was saying that what the problem is, just what's been going on in this world in general. Have you been seeing it or did you understand anything I said, you know what I'm saying, about
No,
that
no,
situation?
I
Or
agree. I agree. There are double standards. I agree. There are those differences. Part of my statement though was about. I don't think that that's something that people would dismiss if we're talking about solutions. Then we have to come back to what's the standard. What are we trying to affect? Um, are are we saying having a double standard is wrong? It's not giving a pass because there's a double standard for the bad behavior. And in some of the conversations, I hear that because women behave badly, here's a pass that excuses some of the bad behavior of men. It's that kind
right.
of inference. And that to me is unproductive in solution building. I am very much in agreement with what Mike is saying. I think having the tools to understand how we strategically can affect change. And part of that is you have to get like minded people together. And that includes those who are at the same speed of change. There's some people
Mm,
who are not going to be your change agents. They're going to move at a slower pace in this paradigm shift that we're having. I think grouping people that are like minded together, because when you do that, you can come into an agreement. And part of that agreement is about we're going to hold each other accountable to these values. There's a concept in some faith circles and in other community circles that deals with covenant and agreements that we come together and we decide how we're going to be with each other. And that's a voluntary accountability system that says we're going to talk to each other with respect. We're going to treat each other in this manner. And if I get out of a line or if you get out of alignment with that, then we're giving each other permission to say, hey, we had an agreement of how we were going to interact. So let's get back on task. Let's get back on the bandwagon with how we're going to interact so that this can be productive time together or whatever those agreements may be. I think that's where we then have the opportunity for accountability to work well, but that's establishing some sort of baseline. I think in the general kind of TikTok universe, when we get into these rooms, there's not an established baseline in some of them. There's some that do it really well. Here are the standards. If you're going to be a part of this room and this space, here's how we're going to act towards each other. In some places, it's wild, wild west and anything goes. And it's difficult to have that kind of accountability when there's no agreement for what the standards are going to be. And so I think productive solution building kinds of things is about making sure that you have like-minded people, making sure that you've got some agreements for how you're going to interact, because I think those things are not just the assumptions. I think leads us wrong because we all come from very different walks of life. And so having those stated agreements lets us put it on the table for how we say we're going to be with each other and the expected accountability that goes with it.
Mm.
Damn right. But yeah, man, I
And then,
really I really appreciate being able to have discussions with my people. I've never had a problem with my people. I've had different acquaintances in life. Like, I don't want to go to this city. It's too black. I'm gonna get robbed. Like, really? Like, those are your people. Like, I'm glad that I was able to grow up in like a place like Miami. It's like a melting pot of different cultures. You know, different Caribbean cultures. But going to school, it did teach me how to most times it teaches you, it's supposed to teach you how to get along with different diverse people, but most time it make you hate people and learn differences, and you be a whole different person when you get out of school. um I think I like being around different cultures. I like studying, like seeing um how the Latin people, how even from different cultures they can get together and have a little Havana in every city. I like how the Asian communities, they do that too. They not from all the same places, but they support each other in this country because they know what this country is about. And I think knowing what this country is about is a sharp tool in the shed for us to have just sitting there. We should be able to use that to our advantage. We know that this country is against us. We cannot strive to be the token Negro and watching our brothers and sisters starve, or just wanting to make it to 6, 7 figures, and just to look back at everybody and tell everybody else they ain't ish. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Our
Yeah,
mindset
yeah.
has to change. We got to stop. Uh, you know, we got to stop making decisions to lay down with people and then y'all not end up together, and then y'all have the child in a strange situation while the child looking at other people who actually have a mom and dad. And it's like those kids want that. Even kids like Antoine Fisher, he grew up and looked for his parents. A lot of people do that. Some people in their lives will tell them it's okay if you never know your parents, and all this stupid stuff. And
Right.
it's like, nah, man, we need to be family, man. That's what
Yeah.
I value. F everything else. F all this red carpet lifestyle and trying to have the biggest diamonds and keeping up with the Joneses and Jacksons. We need to be important to each other again. We don't need to allow the next Sandra Bland to happen, or the next Freddie Gray or Trayvon. We need to be a community. And
Hmm.
that's what I see when I'm pissing people off, because I ain't gonna shut up and we ain't gonna just sweep this back under the rug. I'm sick of it. When 9/11 happened, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people was in a state of fear, a state of shock, like, damn, this never happened before. And then as time came on, rolled on, and they put out new albums and new media and stuff, people start just, oh, it's just business as usual, forgetting. We need to be a people. We need to stop letting time pass where it don't happen. I'm sick of it. I'm gonna keep talking about it, even if nobody want to listen no more. Even if I get unalived about it, I don't care. We need to be families and protect the kids.
Exactly. There you
Have a
go,
bunch
right?
of babies. be God-fearing families. You know, that's each and everybody's own personal decision. But
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're not based off faith or morale, which, you know what I'm saying, right or wrong, that concept kind of came from the Bible, if you ask me. But if you're not a good man, then bad things will come to you. And that woman will
Exactly.
get somebody else who's a good man. But
Yep.
if you're not a good woman, same thing, like I said about the man. You got to realize these laws are always in play, whether you want them to be in or not. Like that's why our people keeps receiving bad because we doing bad, and we got to look at ourselves and turn that around. Practice treating each other better.
Mm-hmm.
Practice, practice. Okay, if somebody saying something true, and I might not necessarily agree to it, let me listen. When I was a kid, I didn't know what the pastor was talking about at church at first, and then as I was aging,
Exactly.
it hit me. Oh man, this man telling the truth. Let me listen up.
Exactly. I feel you on that too. I was the exact same way. I'm
Yeah, I
understanding a
would go
lot
to
of stuff
sleep
now.
in
I get
church.
older. Yeah, right. Ain't no
Through the
one would have
music and
it.
all, man. I lay my head on my mama lap. I was gone. Or I go out in the lobby and go lay down on the couch in the lobby and go to sleep. When I heard the
Mm-hmm.
truth, I couldn't stop listening.
Yep.
I had to get the word myself. I had to get by myself and get with that book, start reading.
Yeah.
That
That's
way,
another thing. Like once
nobody
you
can
read for
trick me about
yourself,
it.
yeah, that's what I was saying. When you read it for yourself, shoot, it'd be a whole different thing. Sometimes, shoot, the pastors be preaching it wrong. Like they, like we gotta look at that. Them, they humans
You
just like us,
feel me,
and they just gonna give us the best. They gonna give us to the best of the way they can interpret it. You know what I'm saying? So
bro?
everybody like, huh?
That that's why I left the black Christian church and went to the Israelite church. Because as I
Mm,
was reading the Bible myself, man, I seen that the black Christian church wasn't uh, practice keeping all of the laws, statutes, and commandments. I was like, why it ain't no churches like it is in the Bible, man? So I left that, and
it's the same
you
thing on
know,
both ends. It depend on. Don't y'all like?
bro,
Don't Israelites? They do different camps, right? They do camps and stuff.
but before I even heard of it, anybody calling themselves Israelites, when I got in the word at the age of 14 and thought about our people and the curses that it's talking about in Deuteronomy 28, I started calling myself Israelite before I even heard of anything. But all of those groups, they're not radical and stuff. Because I was telling my friend, because I was like, man, why are they still worshiping on Sunday instead of Saturday, which is the real Sabbath? Because when you look and research the Roman Catholic Church, I think in the 14th century they changed it. But it's like a lot of people not living by what's there in the Bible. But I see the Israelite church that I'm at, they don't be cussing people out in the street. They use the
Yeah,
Bible
that's
and the
what I was about to
Bible
say. You
alone.
gotta.
They will debate anybody who don't believe, and they will use that scripture to tear all your arguments apart. If you're not, because they actually they observing the 7 feast days in the Bible and the Day of Atonement each year in September. They have the real calendar, um, and we're honoring the real Sabbath. So it's like the women in those in that Israelite camp, like I can't speak for the other ones. I know the other ones are kind of radical. I wouldn't even mess with those. But uh the ones in this camp, man, they teach you Hebrew. Um, you know what I'm saying? They observing and honoring all the laws and statutes and commandments of the Bible. They teaching it to their kids. Um, their family community. They observe fasts together. Man, it's beautiful. I never got this in the Black Christian church. So, um, and then
You just gotta pick the right one, dude.
they're using the real name of God. Um, the other names of
Yeah,
God that you hear
Yahweh.
people talking about. Oh man, see. I don't want to go off. I could go way off on that, but um,
Yeah. I believe no matter what, every religion got the same intention, even though
just
it's just
basically,
everybody got their own belief.
being
Uh,
a man with standards. That's what we're talking about rebuilding the black community with. So, if you are a man who has standards and somebody has something wrong with that, that they keep talking about, oh, they cheat and we're not talking about those type of men. We're talking about a man who's putting God first, and then he come after God, then you come after him, then the kids come after you. It's that order. The Godhead, which is talking about in the Bible, it's not the Trinity. Is God the Father, the Ruach, which is the feminine Holy Spirit, and then Christ the Son. You know what I'm saying? That's the order and the way things would how they was living in the Old Testament days because of that. So I don't know about all this stuff. They talking about still living in this system that really don't like them. That's basically what they're saying when they say, "Oh, the men are they just want to they want you to be a slave. They want you to submit." No, man, because there's something coming to this world, man. It can't nobody stop it, whether you like it or not. And if everybody ain't in order, I'm gonna tell you what, man. I'm gonna cut to the chase, man. They doomed. Like Black Guru said, shaking their head and all. You know how he be in the camera.
You're right.
Doomed. They
Right.
doomed. I wish I had some sunglasses, man. I'll put them on. Doomed.
He took out the sunglasses with the hat on and
But
stuff.
that fedora hat on. Yeah, man. Doomed. Yeah, because regardless of what you believe in, subscribe to, if you do wrong, wrong come back to you. There's no
Most
way
definitely,
to
you
escape that.
reap what you sow. Reap what you sow.
Exactly. The people talking about they ill-gotten experiences, that's because they lived something where they had some hand in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I can openly admit that I've been wrong, but my life's quest is to right my wrongs. I have no intention of bringing back any negative energy on my life by doing something crazy to you. And a lot of these people, they only want to argue, get the last word, and see who could get the loudest. That's the whole competition. It's not really making any type of sense because when we look at the statistics of the people who live their life, because I feel it's important that we look at that stuff, even though we're not even supposed to be doing statistics realistically. Going off the Bible,
Hmm.
King David, he did a statistic. He did it, and God told him not to do it, and he did it anyway. And you can fact check me in the Bible. God told David, "I'm gonna destroy a part of your kingdom. It's gonna be your choice," and he gave him three choices, and he carried that out. Yeah, man, it's a lot of stuff we ain't supposed to be doing, and I ain't better than nobody. So, when I go hard, it's because I have I have a purpose of seeing my brothers and sisters doing better. And if you don't want to see that, then I think you should shut up and sit down. But I think this is like church. I don't want to just go to church. I want to be a part of the church. I want to help participate. I want to be a part of the choir. I want to do something. If you want to help your community, try to understand these people who are speaking and try to help them. Try to help us to change. We got to change, man, because we ain't good. And I can't sweep that under the rug.
Yeah. Well, like I was gonna get to about that is like the thing is that they're really that the My key, the name of this room, man. It's about that accountability for real, man. That's how we can only make change. And I think the problem is that, a lot of people, they always worry about themselves and right now and them being, and that's the whole point of taking accountability. It ain't just only just for yourself. It's to better your future, your surroundings, the people around you, the way you treat people, the way it's all that. You know what I'm saying? So all of us we gotta first be aware of what we doing, you know what I'm saying? How do it affect, our situations and others. We gotta look at that, you know. And then like if you planning on having kids or for just being around kids, we setting up right now, so we're trying to make a better future, just like the people before us. They were, people that passed away and all that stuff, which is millions and millions of people before us. They were. It's just we're not living life just for ourselves and stuff. We are, it's for the future because we're only gonna make it. Most of us only making it probably $100, I said $100, 100 years old. You know what I'm saying? It only go just about that far, 150 years or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But we setting up, it's not, we got to stop being so selfish, and we're not getting all this information just only for ourselves. It's really for us to make some type of impact on others or whatever, whether we don't know we doing it or not. Like I even look at it like if a baby, pass away. That's why I tell people to be thankful, not for just living, just be thankful for existing. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't even have to exist. That still plays a major part in a lot of people's lives. So like even like I say, if a baby that passed away at a young age, or they didn't even make it out, they still playing there's still an impact. You know what I'm saying? It's still in somebody's memory. It's still a part of somebody's story, somebody's testimony. You know what I'm saying? Somebody can tell about another. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I know, like, even our life, we can't never say no life or any life is a waste or it don't matter, because I think all lives do matter and stuff, no matter if it matter in a good way or a bad way. Everything, like I said, I'm a firm believer that everything connect with each other and everything have it for a reason. Even if it don't work the way we want it to work. And like I said, we got to stop. And the reason why, like we try to be accountable for certain situations, or they got people that say they hold others accountable and all that stuff, is because yes, we're trying to make a better environment, a better future, and all that stuff. But you got to be receptive to what people saying nowadays, and stop putting your feelings into it and thinking that it's just a war all the time. It's like we gotta look at the stuff and the decisions we make. Is like, dude, will we allow our children to do this? Is this good advice for the children or is it bad? That's how we gotta look at it. As it's like, is it good advice for the children or bad advice for the children? And we gotta stop putting it like we're just thinking about ourselves. Like I'm saying, if you wouldn't recommend a child doing what you doing, like what I'm saying, if you doing, like, I wouldn't recommend. Let me talk about men first, okay? Just so because it'd be hard to talk about the other, like doing drugs or you know sitting there getting angry, punching walls, and drinking all the time or something like that. Okay, and then like we wouldn't recommend chicks twerking and getting and ratted out and doing all this other stuff or whatever. Like both of them are not good behaviors. You know what I'm saying, for your child. You know what I'm saying. We gotta always look at it like, would I recommend my child doing this? Just because you doing it, that don't make it right, or just because you live that life or whatever. The whole point of you doing that or you experienced that was for you to learn from it. It's not for you to make an excuse about it. You know what I'm saying? You just don't sit there and be like, well, I did that. That was my life. You shouldn't bash me in or nothing like that. That has nothing to do with bashing. That's just some stuff that, you learn from. You're supposed to accept it like, okay, yeah, you right. It wasn't right. And then I learned from it, and y'all right what y'all talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You ain't got to
you
agree
you
with it
you
or not.
you 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 right, but at the same time, you got to think about it. Your kid, a smaller version of you, they looking at you. They looking
Exactly.
at you. They looking at you for answers. Even when they get
Yeah.
older and they try to rebel as a teen, man, they get older, they get grown. Um, you got to keep living your life. The relationship might not work out with the mother of that child, right?
Hmm.
But you always got to show them that you're strong and that you're trying to do the right thing. Because God
Hmm.
forbid they have a bad relationship And like how some of these relationships go wrong and they get fatal. You never want your kid to go out over a relationship because you're
Yeah,
trying to show them
exactly.
a better example.
Mm-hmm.
You would want them to try to take the tough stuff in life and be able to live through it and still have a happy ending. You know what I'm saying? Real talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel you on that. Dang, I just had something on my mind. It just went away. Dang, it just went away. But I think yeah, it was something about that though. But yeah, we gotta. That's why I said we gotta focus on this. Like I said, we gotta learn from our mistakes, man. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna hurt, but you know we gotta be hurt to actually. Sometimes, a lot of times, you gotta be hurt to even move on, or be stronger in life. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff that we doing, you know, it's not to just sit there and sob over. It's to actually just overcome. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I was thinking about like even we was talking about the Black Guru dude, and all that stuff where you say you're gonna be doomed and all this stuff. Like, I mean, sometimes it do, and that's why he have supporters. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't like him, a lot of people don't. That's one thing I learned. It's like you gonna win, you gonna get some people over, or you gonna get people that understand. You got people that's gonna dislike you. You know what I'm saying? No matter if you got a positive message behind it or a negative. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be somebody that support that a lot of the times or whatever. You just can't win everybody because everybody got their own mindsets and stuff. So even like, okay, the tactic he doing, you know what I'm saying? Yes, that's gonna work with a lot of people and stuff because some people gotta listen to like I said, you got some people you gotta do tough love too. Some people you gotta be light on, but a lot of people, yes, they use that. They need that scare tactic sometimes because they wouldn't make a change. They gotta keep them. You gotta do the scare tactic sometimes, so they be like, if I do this, I might be doomed or something like that. So they gonna try to correct it. Sometimes you do gotta scare a person into whatever something, but some people it don't work on. But everybody got their own way or the way of deliverance to get a message across. It's just all about did you get that message? That's all it is. So I'm pretty sure he's not looking for everybody to accept him. He know it's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Because some people are more sensitive than others. You know what I'm saying? Some people can actually listen to others. Just like no ways of saying yes. Some people get in a worse situation than before, but it is what it is. Because you could say that you could say the same thing about a person that's delivering it the right way. You know what I'm saying? They can still hear it, you know what I'm saying, and not really getting the message and still leave out words. You can both ways of doing it can make a situation work. It just depends on how a person take it in. Because somebody they could say it a certain a nice way, but they don't take it as serious because they don't think it was that much serious because it wasn't delivered serious sometimes. So like both ways work no matter what. So, and that's one thing I had to realize as I got older. It made me think about like, man, why these? I be even like, I be looking at like some of my churches I go to and all that stuff. I'm like, man, why do they be
Man,
with this
I
scare
wanna
tactic and stuff?
I wanna see our
Huh?
people actually get the message. Ooh, the napkin colored people would be so mad. Oh
Yeah,
man, I'm talking
yeah,
about
I'm not.
the way they got all African garbed to go see Black Panther when it came out and did record numbers over all the Marvel movies. I want to see black people get together on something big like that,
Yeah,
and it just shocked the world, and it never be the same
yeah.
ever after that.
Uh, I feel
For
you on
real,
that though,
man.
but I don't think that I don't be trying to like I don't try to
But
me
we
myself.
down each other too much, man.
Yeah,
It's too much suckers in our community. That's why we gotta weed out, and the people who are for us, let's stand over here. The people who want to keep on perpetuating negativity and foolishness against each other, y'all stand over here to the left. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
yeah, we gonna have to do that, man. And just show the people who stood to the left. We got to show them by example that true unity really works.
yeah. Yeah, I feel you on that to the part you was talking about the napkin thing, but I'm not doing nothing vengeful or nothing like that. I'm not looking for vengeance for anything. I
Oh
believe
no,
that God wanted to
I'm
give it.
just oh no, I don't
Uh,
really care about them. I just feel like this ain't even about them. This is our time to shine. I feel like unless we stand together, we're never gonna get a real fair shake in this country.
yeah, I feel you
ever.
on that. I think in
We
all
don't like,
parties, a lot of people not even standing together for real. I don't think none of
and
them because everybody got something to fight over all the time, no matter what color or not. You know what I'm saying? They all fight.
they
Even
be
the Chinese, we
piggybacking
probably
our
think they
civil
doing good.
rights.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah,
don't give a damn about us. But the thing is, what we need to do is show an example for
yeah,
once in our lifetime that we are standing together as a
yeah,
people.
yeah,
Okay? It's not about them. The thing is, it's good that our people got the reparations talks going, but we don't need nothing for them. We can start our own cities and our own towns by just supporting each other. But we have to have unity first, or it's not going to work. We have
most
to
definitely.
decide on unity. We have to make a decision that I'm unifying with my people. And no, we're not perfect, but we're going to weed out the imperfections so we can have a strong stand together. We
Yeah,
have to all make that decision and decide that we're going to stand on a unified front. And I'm willing to die unalive for that.
feel you on that, man. But you gotta make sure everybody on the same tip, cause just because they got the same, or you could think somebody your people, that don't mean they'll do the same exact thing for you. So you gotta
Oh,
pick and
yeah, it's
choose
always a black
who you fighting
Judas.
for. Yeah, you
It's
gotta fight.
always a Judas standing next to. See, but that's why we don't need nobody to be a leader. I don't have to be a leader. We could all
Yeah,
just be a people that's on code and we're
yeah,
agreeing to be a nation. That's it. The flaw that we've had by having a leader is they always put a target on the leader. They
yeah,
always take the leaders out the game. But if we're moving towards a mindset to support each other, then you can't kill that. I'm sorry. You can't unalive that. So I think supporting each other is the key um, for
yeah.
everything. Having that unity. But some of us, like I said, we're gonna have to take those first steps because everybody's not gonna be on board with unity.
There's,
Just in
there's a
just in
lot of
saying it
people
out
so
loud,
too.
logically, you know it.
I think too be people too selfish for that nowadays. Even our own, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, and then everybody mixed with their own problems to even think about that because they trying to fix the stuff within themselves. That's why, that unity it is so hard because, everybody got to do what they got to do to survive. So they will literally rob their own kind, rob others, you know what I'm saying? Just because everybody got to do what they got to do to survive. And it is what it is on a situation. But it's just understandable. We gotta just understand it or whatever. But yeah, we all gotta just trying to, and which is do sound good on paper. Even that's my intentions. I'm trying to
Yeah,
just,
they.
any got the same mindset. No matter with me, it don't matter the religion you got, skin color, your sex, whatever you like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? With me, I'm a little different though. But it's just like as long as you got the same goals and stuff, that's where I feel like we most powerful at. You know what I'm saying? Because like we can't trust any and everything. We can't disband, people that actually might can help us or whatever, just because of our history and all that stuff or whatever, or for what we think we know and all that stuff. Because it really is like we be missing out on the people that's actually helping us because of a lot of stuff we holding against, certain situations and stuff, and not realizing like that we really got help in front of us, but we be blinded to it or whatever. But
I,
that's the reason why I'm
I
doing this platform like this. Huh?
I feel you, but like, let's just say we wanted to, we decided to unify, and let's say we took a group of 100 people,
Mm-hmm.
and we was like, okay, all 100 people, we're gonna send you $100 on Cash App, and we're gonna
Yeah.
do that for everybody during a certain period of time until every 100 of them people do it, get it. Okay. Then
Mm-hmm.
let's say the next one is 200. Like, man, we could like flood our community with money, man. There's like different ways, but we have to be on unity. Like we could do that right now. We could make their whole dollar system stupid. We could start building our own systems. Like I be thinking about stuff like that. Like because I like entertaining ideas of us actually being a community and making it work. You know what I'm saying? But I think
Mm-hmm.
just like the communities that are on top, they have a group of selected thinkers. They have doctors, physicists, scientists, mathematicians, and all that stuff. We need to put our brightest minds together and get a community popping, man. Ain't, ain't no excuses, man. Real talk.
Yeah.
The only excuse is that we have been so brainwashed into Willie Lynch that we are against each other and don't want to see it happen. And we're the ones sabotaging it now. That's the only reason it can't happen because we've had 100 different cities like Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
It's been done and it's been sabotaged each time because we was doing better than
See,
all the
I
cities around us.
yeah, I like that the thing he said right down there. All solutions are already here, and I do feel that though. Just like you said that we are set up to go against each other or whatever. But the thing is, I feel like a lot of us already know that stuff. They know it already. We know all this stuff, and it's like when are we gonna actually act on it or try to prove that situation wrong? We already know it, and then we continue to do it against each other, which don't make sense. So it's like, when is the time we're actually gonna be? We're gonna go back to the name of the room. Be accountable for what we doing instead of like keep on blaming it on that we got set up or whatever. Now we got enough information to know that we are set up, put in a certain situation, but we gotta, just like you said, like, how we gonna unify? We gonna keep on blaming that and not doing nothing within ourselves to change, to make it, to build this
Right.
unity and all that stuff. You know
It,
what I'm saying? We got
and
enough
to
information.
and to not change the language or how we perceive each other and we're not allowing each other to change our image because and it's wrong to say for and it's not all women but the ones who are bitter all men ain't this and all men ain't that, but what about the dudes have been in the 40, 50, 60 year relationship with their wife, which might not have been perfect, may have had cheating in there too, may not have in certain situations. What about your own father who brought you in this world? You're throwing him into the all men. You know what I'm saying? Because all of us dudes, a lot of us who are speaking about this, we're not saying all women. We're particularly pointing to the ones who hold this negative ideology and privilege against their men. The ones who, when we speak against 304 culture, they get offended and triggered and start defending that stuff. But if you're not with that lifestyle or don't benefit from it, why would you defend that?
Mhm. What you have for us? I see you
I
about to
don't
say
defend
something.
Pookie stuff.
Right, that is
Go
weird.
ahead.
I never understood that. That is weird though. Like, I would never defend a Pookie though, but you could defend like 304 type stuff. That's weird, but that's that double standard stuff I was talking about. But it is what it is. We know. So, whatever, it is what it is. And I feel like that's where solutions can come at if we stop defending wrong or negative behaviors and all that stuff. I totally understand that situation. But it is what it is.
You have to
What you about to say?
identify an issue and then change it. Go ahead.
Yeah, what you about to say? No waste of time. I'm about to get off about 10 minutes.
I guess it goes back to the solution. Like all of those there are indeed problems. I agree with the person in the comments that we do have enough to begin moving towards solutions. I think
Yep.
we've got to be strategic. I agree that I think we have to go back to the think tank model. The previous generations, it was the talented 10th. It was, can we get those who really are the philosophers in our society and our communities to come together and really talk about the solutions? Because the question, I think everyone is coming to that place of, okay, we need unity. It's okay, how do we affect that? Okay, so what do we do? I think we have
Mhm.
to the action plans in society, and there are some models that tell us that give some indication. This is a space I've worked years in. So there are some models, there are some ways that strategically seem like the best approach. I think we are still at the cusp where it's still not quite like we still have not been prompted into full action mode. I think we're beginning to
Mm-hmm.
see people are saying we've got to do something. For a lot of people, it's the what do we do? But there are some of us
Mm-hmm.
that are working in this space of here's some solutions for how to do it. Here's some models that we've watched for the past decade or two. These models seem accurate. They overlay against what's happening in the social space and the social paradigm shift that's happening. But we've got to be willing to have those conversations with the goal of solution building. Like um, it just takes energy if we keep rehashing what the problems are. And so I'd like to see those think tanks created where we start doing it. I work in several intersecting spaces. One of the spaces that has some implications for what's happening is the intentional community building space. I'm seeing
Mm-hmm.
more move into that space. But what I'm seeing is Blacks go out and buy some land and they think that's what they need to know about building community. And I say to some of
Mm-hmm.
them, do you in building this community and in pulling together a core team, do you guys have conflict resolution plan in place for how you guys are going to interact? Nope. Have you guys ever lived in an off-grid, grid down situation? Nope. But you guys are going to go buy raw land. Do you know about zoning? Do you know about, inspecting the land and understanding the implications of that? And so part of it goes back to we've got some good solutions, but we have to be willing to do the work. We have to be
and
willing the
and
hard.
remembering that we were sabotaged in all 100 cities that we created that were
But we understand
successful.
in 100 years, if we haven't figured out some strategies for working around that, then we need to be at that table doing some learning. We've had 100 years
Right.
to understand that.
Right.
I have
Exactly.
worked in researching specifically Black communities. How did they form? How were they resilient? And when did they lose that resiliency in community? We've got some history that we can learn from. And that's why I say if we come back, we've got resources within our community that are very knowledgeable. They understand not only what's happened, but they understand our current climate politically and globally to understand the other factors that play into us building real solutions now in America. I think it would serve us well to really pull those kinds of people because there's some people that spend time really digging deep into that. The how do we do it? How do we help people heal? How do we deal? Which things do we do first? We've got to deal with the food and housing piece first. Or very soon into that. But we've also got to do healing because we can't get very far if we don't. We've got to learn from our past so that we don't um, continue to fall into the cycles that are unproductive. We know the systems that we're working with, and there are real obstacles that we have to learn how to maneuver around if we're going to see progress. So I like being a part of those things that are really talking about let's put the action together. Let's start putting together those minds and those think tanks and really come up with a plan for how we take some of these next steps. I think it's time, and I think there's some critical things on the horizon on a global space that may change the way that we have to interact, especially here in the United States. Preparing for that. If not, we'll be on the backside of whatever the next crisis is that's coming, and it's coming. So there's an urgency to it because of some things that are happening on a global space that are going to affect the United States. And unifying is one of those things, but doing it strategically so that we get the fastest motion. Because even if others can't unify, and I'm talking about within the Black community, we still need to have solutions in the works. Because there's going to come a time where unity is going to be the only option for survival. It's going to be the only option. And we have to have some solutions on the ground in real life way, not theoretical solutions. They need to be practical solutions. There needs to be land acquisitions and infrastructure put in, and that takes time. That takes time. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
understand about land and water and wells and what size wells and what kind of piping and power alternatives and building and construction trades and things like that, and doing it in some cases within the legal systems that we have, because that's the reality. That's the
Mm-hmm.
protection that when you know the laws and you know that you're operating within the laws, there's some pushback you can get, but there's some open doors because you're within the letter of the law. And in some cases, our legal system does give us some of those protections, like zoning laws and things like that. You still deal with racism in areas, you still deal with some of those other factors, but knowing your stuff helps you to at least have some ammunition to work with against that. I mean, those practical solutions, and this is something that's going to take a period of time for us to be able to roll out in any kind of scale. There are people doing it in microcosms. There's a growing number of people that are moving into the intentional community space, and they're tinkering. They're tinkering with the future. We need more of that because through that you work out the kinks of the solution, learning how to work together, learning how to unify and work together, learning how to change our value system so that we will take those financial resources and redivert them into ways that have a bigger long-term impact on us. And so I think all of what you're saying, my both of you are is really good information. Let's move on to the how to. Let's move on to action because it's
Right.
critical. You need to be on the ground, boots on the ground, working. If you ain't got no land,
Well,
find somebody that does. If you have a skill or share that skill so that we have a collective that can start building some of these physical spaces to work with. Let's practice being unified. Let's practice, do we have enough of our healing done so that we can be unified? Which ones do? Let's get those together and let's get them working while we yet work on those that don't. So it's both and. We got to be doing a whole lot of things at the same time. And we're running into some social crisis that are looming, economics, I mean, just war, our dollar, the petrodollar, the power structures in the global space that are changing that may make American culture something very different within the next few years. So I'm with all of that. Let's get into action.
For sure. Right.
well, I think the government has been trying something different on us since the shutdown. They shut down the gas at one point. The gas trucks weren't coming. Then they did multiple stints with the food and told us it was a food shortage. Then showed different farmers they was paying them and telling them to throw away food. I really think as a people it would benefit us to get control over some land that we can have, but also we would have to have some sort of militia or something because, well, several militias because they've been inventive in undoing things that we've been building up. So,
I
um,
got 2 minutes, brother.
oh, okay. Go ahead. In closing, I'm gonna just say thank you for letting me up on here.
For sure,
Um,
man.
you're my brother. I love you. I love you, sister. Um, and I hope that we come up with different ways to keep having discussions and keep making unity happen, um,
Hmm.
and then implementing some of these ideas, different simple things that we can do to help finance having something for ourselves.
Hmm. I hope so, man. That's the goal, man. We got this 2023, man. We say let's get it going. You know, more about solutions, man. We're trying to figure it out. But all right, y'all, man. You want to say something for the end or?
No, thank you again for the
Okay.
conversation. Hold space
For
to
sure.
have these conversations.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thanks for coming by too. I'm gonna be try to be on tomorrow. I'm gonna see. But thank you for everything. I took in some stuff that was said. We gonna get some stuff going though. But thanks again. And 8 views in here. If y'all you ain't follow. I'm about to head out.
Good night.
All right. Good night. All right, y'all.